Welcome once again, all you Warhammers and Warhammies, to the best episode of Big M's Power Hour to date. I'm your host, Big M, along with the best co-host in the world, Cole C. Cole, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Glad that we keep having the best episode to date every time. Just keeps getting better with age.
Tell you, man, it's hard. It's hard to keep.
It's hard to keep up this level of performance. Let me tell you. I'll tell you.
Right. I mean, we had a little bit of stumble block here and there this past year, but hey, we're here now.
Don't know what you're talking about. Not a clue. Not a clue.
So we got a surprising amount of articles this week or this month.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, man, I almost dropped the ball with the intro this time, just since I was doing Chuck's show there.
Ooh, well, so long as you didn't try and give his intro, I think we're okay. Just remember, this is the primary show on this channel. That other one that comes out every week, second.
Yeah.
Second place.
Yeah,
Old news.
I'd like to point out to the fans, I attempted to record both weeks.
Right.
But Strength Hammer,
and they're unreliable, it's difficult. It's difficult.
It's not exactly an accurate name. They just give up first sign of weakness.
Dang. I like that one.
Whereas, unlike them, we promise we never lie to you. We consistently squeeze 1 hour of information into a 3-hour show.
Yes, it's very difficult to put 1 hour into 3, but somehow
we make it work.
We manage it every single time.
Again, this is not the show where we go over hobby and all that other shenanigan stuff. However, I will tell you, next month I will be showing off a little bit of this Soulblade army that is near done.
Yeah, no, that'd be great to actually see your hero you have been working on as well. I got to see that little whip, and big fan. I think people would like to see that as well.
Yeah. So basically, where we are, all the little foot guys are all done. All the zombies, all the skeletons, all the bats. Both foot heroes are done. So at this point, on top of that, I also got the smaller form of the narrative hero for Neil's campaign thingy he has going on. I'm currently working on the bigger version of him, and which also uses, which I was also going to serve as my zombie dragon. Whenever I don't need to have him on the table as my narrative hero.
Exactly. No, wonderful dual purpose out of him right there. That's what I'm hearing.
And then 2 corpse carts and 5 black knights. However, the black knights are not my fault. I've been looking for them since July.
Really? No luck.
They just came back in stock whenever the Wednesday before the Christmas bundle box sets came out.
Oh, okay.
So I ordered them then. However, that order still has not shipped.
I was going to say that order is a month old then, right? So
I believe it's 2 full weeks.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. That is whenever they release the Christmas box. I was thinking of the other stuff we had last month.
Now I can hear you crying out, but Big M, just check the website. Why don't you check to see what the status is? Well, that leads us to our first article from October 31st. Warhammer.com is here! The new homes of the world's greatest miniatures.
Show of hands, everyone who enjoyed the new website. Oh, wait, we're on the internet. I can't see your hands. It's a good thing they aren't up. Anyway.
Now, I'll say, I do think the critiques about the layout have been a little overly harsh. I think you just need to get used to it. Everything is still right there. It's just the only thing I'll complain about. Well, so again, layout only.
No, layout only. I think for a desktop only site, it's not good. However, on a mobile site, I think we actually got there. I think that was the problem. I think they focused too much on the mobile, which may or may not be a good thing, because probably the majority of us access their site via mobile. And
unless I'm
I
trying
think
to
you
buy
could-
something.
Well, why would you buy something from there?
I don't know. I keep.
Because to be fair, most of what's on there is out of stock things. So you're going to have to go down to your local game store anyway and hope that they have it in stock.
Oh, so quick aside, just to throw a little bit of mud. I've been trying. I have a lot of projects planned out, and I've been trying to be good.
Right.
But then, of course, they're like, "Oh, well, hey, I know you're waiting until you're ready to paint Seraphon to start buying Seraphon, but hey, we're going to give you a giant deal, so I'm going to buy Seraphon."
Right. So, guess who's buying Seraphon?
Well, so that one box set is done, but I only needed one of that box set.
Right.
So the other thing was I was going to wait, and I was going to actually try and buy as I complete for my next project, which is Spires for Conquest.
Okay.
Until Dom from our local hobby shop, Fabricator Forge, decided to do a holiday deal, 25% off all Conquest models, and literally had every single box I needed for the rest of my army.
So what you're saying is, if we pan that camera right now, the pile of shame is slightly taller than it used to be.
I'm keeping it in the basement. That's
where all shameful things go.
Now, I will say, so I bought, what was it? I bought a Hero, a Command Update, a box of Avatara, box of 3 boxes of like foot troops.
Okay.
And I think another. So I basically ended up buying 6 or 7 boxes worth of stuff.
Okay.
And then I even bought their little chicken thing that was extra.
Okay.
And it came out as $200. I'm like, this would have been.
Yeah. No. Whenever you say that, you're like, well, you say 7 boxes to somebody who's buying something from GW.
Right.
I mean, 4 or 5, right?
Right.
400 or 500. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was nice. It was generally nice.
I understand a little bit better now. If that deal got you to that, yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, GW do better. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
November 1st, put the Black Talon to work. Hunting down foul foes with free downloadable rules. I did buy this box set, and I did assemble this box set. I'll just pull up the. First of all, I love the fact that there's Warcry rules. I also think they missed the opportunity of making this some sort of like 2v1 Underworlds warband, but I won't push my luck.
Fair.
So let's see here. Where are the war? Are there no war scrolls? Did I look at it wrong? Nope, there they are. Okay. So Black Talons. Essentially, this can be taken. I'm still not 100% sure. What I believe is you can take the Regiment of Renown if it's not a Stormcast. It's not a Stormcast army.
Okay.
Or you can just take them in a Stormcast army. They just don't get the 6-up ward, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Understood. Can't keep up.
I mean, let's just give it a second here. Let's hear. The following war scroll are part of the Stormcast Eternal factions: Neve, Black Talon, Neve Companions, and Lorai, Child of the Abyss. If your army has an order general, but is not Stormcast, you can include these war scrolls in your army as a special type of ally called the Black Talon Red. Blah blah blah. Okay, so yes, exactly what I said.
Yeah.
I'm a little torn.
Okay.
And I get it. I'll say that at the same time. I'm a little torn. I get it. Still a little disappointed because those are all like important characters who are almost as well. I mean, they're right at the same level as Neve, and they just get lumped together as Neve's companion unit.
Yeah, no, Neve was, definitely her own character who didn't have a retinue all the time, and now you better, well, not better. Now you have to take them with her.
And also, I think it would have been cool to be able to have Lori split out and go into
as a Deepkin player.
Yeah.
I would very much like to not have to put Stormcast in my army in order to play her.
Because again, also on top of that, like, did you watch?
I did not watch.
Okay, so like,
no.
So even there, like, she's just kind of like in this one adventure, and she's not part of the crew, you know. But it's
makes sense lore-wise, but yeah.
Let's take a look at Neve here. So, 8-inch move, 3-up save, 6 wounds. That 6 wound part's a little
fast for Stormcast, though. Yeah,
I mean that's just fast for a single foot hero. I mean that's
right. Yeah,
on a small little base. Again, that six wounds is basically enough to go. Yeah, I'm probably not going to bring her.
Right. The only thing you're going to hope that Lookout Sir keeps her around until she gets into combat one time.
I believe there's something for Neve's companions.
Okay.
I think it's the 2-up. Yeah.
Yep.
So for her bolt pistol, 3 attacks, 12-inch range, 3s, rend 1 damage, fine. Whirlwind axes, 2-inch, 7 attacks, 2s, 3s, rend 2 damage. There's some.
Yeah, that's some hurt.
Now the thing is, with the 6 wounds, she's going to need to kill whatever she's into.
Right. And well, just looking down through her there, getting the +1 damage if she's attacking a hero, you're obviously throwing her at a hero.
Yes.
It's 3 damage on 7 attacks.
She can still run and shoot, or run and charge. And then on top of that, she has the Ride the Winds Etheric, where you basically just pick her up, put her down wherever the hell you want her.
Right.
Now for Neve's companions, of course we have to have a million different weapon profiles.
Yes. This is a Warcry warband that we've brought to the table. So it will take you 10 minutes just to roll this one unit's attack.
So we got 4-inch move, 3 save, 3 wound, 9 bravery. So we have the crossbow, which can be done as a rapid shoot or a headshot. So that's 18 inches. For rapid is 6 attacks, 3s, rend 1 damage, fine. Headshot, 1 attack, 2s, 3s, rend 3 damage. Okay.
I mean, you're going to miss on the wound, so it's okay.
Yeah. And then we have, let's see, 6 attacks, 3s, rend 1 damage, 4 attacks, 3s, 2s, rend 2 damage, and 2 attacks, 4s, 3s, no rend 1 damage. We could probably just do without the bird.
Right. You can just kind of. Oh, I got one. Oh, you saved it. Okay, never mind.
Let's see here. So we have the Shield of Vizier. A friendly Black Talons hero is within 3 inches of this unit before you allocate a wound or mortal wound to that hero instead. Making a ward roll for a wound or mortal wound. That can be allocated to that hero. Roll a die on a 2+, blah, blah, blah. Do it to these guys instead. Cannot be negated. And then for Consummate Aim.
That's the only way you get the headshot, is you're shooting at a hero.
Right.
Okay.
And then Lori, who does at least get her own little special rules here. She's obviously not there to attack.
Not a combat character.
5 wounds, 4-up save, 6-inch move. So weird. Like, they broke her off. She's broken off already. Just whatever.
Don't know.
Cast 1, dispel 1, subtract 1 from hit rolls for combat that target this unit. Sure. 5-up ward. I like how she has a better ward than the people who are wearing the best armor that immortal minds can conceive of.
This is just the Deepkin 5-up ward that you get if you're a foot hero in Deepkin. They just slap that on you. So she brought hers with her.
Okay, and your 1 spell goes off on a 6. If cast until the start of your next hero phase, shooting attacks that target the friendly Black Talons unit that are wholly within 6 only score hit on an unmodified roll of 6.
So not the greatest spell in the world unless you're really trying to protect
Yeah.
that from shooting. Cool.
I would say if after everything's updated and completely confirmed, if Neve is still able to be taken on her own, excellent. However, I don't know why you would ever take this unit.
Yeah, same. Don't know.
At 340, and again, here's the problem is, I don't think 340, I think 340 is low. However, I don't think there's room for it in a Stormcast army.
That I agree with 100%. There is not enough room from 340 points to go to this.
Right. Like I said, it doesn't... for the amount of output, like... that's kind of... This is like in such a weird place. That's why I wish it would have just been, here's just some new heroes.
Right. Here's their war scrolls. Call it good.
Right. Just so that way you can pick and choose who you want, and then you already have as a Warcry warband, so who cares?
Right.
Anyways, I'm glad we have them released, because all of the companions I think are awesome looking, and I could see using them all as narrative heroes.
Yeah, and the resculpts are all pretty cool.
And I gotta say, the older guy, the guy up here with the big sword on his back, holding a short sword and an axe, probably top 3 Stormcast sculpts.
Okay. I mean, yeah, he's definitely armed for battle. He came to kill somebody.
Yeah, like I said, if you see him in person, you'd be like, oh shit, that guy came to play.
Yeah.
All right, moving along to November 6th. Hail to the noble seneschal who makes safe the borders of his master's kingdom. So we get a couple rumor engines ticked off here.
Yeah.
Got a big new winged flesh eater cork guy.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we got the keys, the wings, the foot.
Yeah, I think those were all on the list for past rumor engines. Yeah. It's cool. I like it. Winged.
Yeah. I think it
cool
was cool.
idea.
Cool. Congratulations, Flesh Eater Quartz.
Got another hero somehow fit in that list, that army. What you need is no base unit. Not all the heroes, but hey.
Moving right along, November 6th, Old World Almanac. The movement phase introduces marching columns.
Yeah.
Have you been keeping up with these?
I have been, yes. Yes.
So I have to say, the closer we get to this release date, that I'm just assuming February is the announced official date, since that's what was accidentally posted by Warhammer Official.
Right. Whenever that came out, it was one of those, well, if you change it, it's in spite now.
Honestly, at this point...
I mean, obviously, something could come up.
Right. And honestly, I feel like what they should have done, instead of taking the post down, just follow up with, hey, we didn't mean to post this, however, we want to let you know this is our plan, but we can't promise it.
Even if it isn't February, and somebody put that up on accident, and you come out and you're like, so it's actually March, guys.
Right.
Really sorry to tell you, that was an old thing that somehow got posted.
Right.
Would have shut a lot of people up, and a lot of people have been like, yeah, GW's a good company. They just let us know. It's awesome.
So going over this, I'll kind of gloss over it because it's, a month old here. So essentially what it boils down to is there's going to be a couple different formations that you can use. If the unit is wider than it is deep, then it will move as normal, and then if it is deeper than it is wide, then they get to move, I believe it was 3 times their movement.
Yes, they really get to move, but I don't believe they can declare any charges.
No charges or anything like that. And then, of course, Bretonnians are going to have a special lance formation that I can't imagine what that's going to be all about.
help you get more guys in the front rank.
Right. So, again, the first time I read this, I was I'm going to put this out here now that there are rules that we don't know, and so this is a temporary analysis, temporary opinion, and it'll change whenever we get more rules. So,
right.
As is, I think this, and I know you kind of disagree with me, which is obviously fine, but
yeah, that's kind of the reason I'm here.
Exactly. It's exactly the reason here. I personally feel like this is going to create an arms war, where it's who's going to get the widest, who's going to get the widest armies that they can fit on the table now. It's like, why take spearmen when I'm just going to take hammers and I'm going to put them in a two-man block of 20 wide. Like,
right.
Because I think it is absolutely beyond ludicrous that the entire front row gets to attack and the second row does nothing without special rules.
Right.
They're really going to have to sell me on...
Right. So in that world, I think, where we stop and we go, oh, wait, what's the downside to doing what you just said?
Right.
Which we don't have that rule yet, which I'm sure will be something of, if you have no spare ranks and you're one line of dudes fighting, something occurs to you, or, well, the other guy who decided to go 5x5, yes, you hit him a bunch, but at the end of the fight, he's still 3 deep or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He now wins combat because, well, you're not running him over.
Well, so here's the only issue that I have with that, because if your 5x5 block is coming in, that's 5 models attacking versus 20 models attacking.
Right, huge difference, agreed.
And assuming that it's, let's just call it similar models,
yes. There should be a clear victor of the 20 model group.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that there's going to be some sort of pin to, you can only be like, there's some sort of tie to width and depth. So if it's like you cannot be more than 1 wide, then you can be, it's like if you're 5 wide, you have to be a minimum of 3 deep or 4 deep.
Right. It'll probably be 3 just because of what they're showing us in some of the pictures here, if they put something like that.
Right.
I also think that the ability for the units that have decided to run, essentially the marching order units, to get around you so quickly, because 3x movement is going to be rather huge.
Right.
That if you do go with those wider units, I think you're setting yourself up to get sandwiched.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I'm thinking about with this marching column, because, like, again, assumedly we're still going to be a 5-round game.
I would assume as much, yeah. I doubt we're changing the formula that much.
Right.
But yeah.
So now we're looking at, you're going to spend a fifth of your game minimum as a giant weak spot.
Right.
I mean, you're going to have this giant unit. Again, like I said, unless there's something in there specifically keeping you in these 5-to-4 ratios, you're just moving, like, and on top of that, something's moving 3 times the speed of the rest of your army. It's going to be an interesting one.
It'll be very interesting, because I think it's to help keep it from, okay, we walked our 2 armies at each other, turn 1. Okay, I charged and I made it to you, and now we're going to sit here like this for the next 3 turns.
I think that's going to be the core basis of it, but we'll actually see. We'll get to on that one, because we did have our article come out today. Now, like I said, the other thing that kind of irks me is, like, as a dwarf player, if they decide to keep my dwarfs at 3 inches, that means
9 inches feels real bad. Yeah,
I'm going to be 9 inches, where the elf player is going to be 18.
18, yeah. Yeah. So you still feel really bad about it. Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's really no, like, at that point, I feel like, I'll just put it this way. Marching column is going to have to prove itself to me. I think that's the best way to put it.
I do think that at the end of the day, the limiting factor of table size does help some of that. Like, you have this ridiculously long move of, well, there gets to be a point where extra move doesn't get you anywhere because of one thing or another.
Right.
Much like you couldn't march back in, what was it, 8th, if you ended up within 8 inches of an enemy or something like that.
Yeah.
Perhaps there will be a thing that slows you down that, oh, you're getting close to the enemy now. You're not exactly going to march right up to the front of them and not be prepared to receive a charge.
Right.
So.
Now, I will say I was lower on. It talks about wheeling and everything. I was kind of hoping that all units were going to be able to have a free, 45-degree wheel or something, but that's not the case. But instead, it does say you can use, I believe it's half your movement to be able to turn up to 180 degrees.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get yourself spun around. So you can
turn yourself, specifically what it says, all units models through 90 or 180 degrees, spending a quarter of your movement for each 90 degrees.
For each 90. Okay.
So that
if
is
there's
better.
some strange world where you want to go 270 degrees around, it'll be fine.
Could do it.
Yeah.
Which, again, by talking about quarters, I'm really hoping that means they're moving dwarfs up to 2 or 4 inches.
Yeah, that'd make life a lot easier.
Yes.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
But again, still looking forward. All right.
Yeah.
November 7th, we got a Joy Toy announcement that they're giving us a Rogel Dorn figure that looks, the body looks awesome.
Right. And so whenever you get to the face, you're kind of like, you had me in the first half.
Where's his helmet?
Yeah, give me the helmet version.
Because again, we already have Gulliman and we already have the Lion, who both of them look amazing.
Yeah, I know. They did so good with the Lion.
Oh, yeah.
And with his helmetless head, they did so good with it.
Yeah, so they're capable. I mean, Joy Toy is a very decent quality company.
Yeah. I think it's just the hair's too big. I think it takes away.
Yeah, it's a little pompadour-y. And I don't know, the face doesn't necessarily come across as Dorn to me.
Yeah.
It's a little, I don't know. It's almost, I don't know. It looks like someone else. But I'd rather have it than not. So.
Yep, definitely.
Thank you.
Glad it's here.
Moving along, we got another Flesh Eater Court on November 13th. We got Intestines Head Boy.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, I do love how we are definitely leaning into the lore of the Flesh Eater Courts with this. That's definitely, obviously, his powdered wig he's wearing because he's a judge. It's fine. All right? Don't worry about the smell.
I feel bad for everyone that's going to try and paint that.
Yes, that same. I don't know how you would paint that one and make it look like this, but I assume the answer is a lot of patience, which I would not have to do this.
Yeah, definitely. So, again, another very interesting model. I'll be interested to see what it does. Let me put it this way. I'm not interested to see what it does because every time Flesh Eater Quartz comes out, it's a problem. And it's just a pain in the ass.
Fine. It's a foot here. It's not even on a Terrorgeist or a zombie dragon. It's fine.
All right. Also on November 13th, we got our shooting article for Old World. I mean, it seemed to be...
Yeah, nothing was too terribly surprising to me there.
Yeah, everything made sense to me. We're keeping the ballistic skill of 6 or higher.
That was cool that they made sure we still had the option.
Yeah, talked about...
Minuses can still be big.
It's fine. Yeah, like I said, everything was good. I got nothing.
Yeah, nothing wrong here. I forget. Did you need to have the volley fire rule to fire in 2 ranks? With say,
No, you could always fire in 2
flintlocks?
ranks. You needed volley to fire in more than 2 ranks.
That's what I thought. But,
Honestly,
so that is a small change here.
This
you
is
only get the front rank. But.
To me, again, this is the biggest mistake that they're making so far, is by making armies so limited to this front rank thing.
Right. It will be very interesting. I see where this is another place that your concern could occur, where I take a 20 wide unit of Thunderers.
Right.
Why? Well, 20 guys get to shoot now.
Right. I mean, that's the thing is like, I don't know how. I mean, it's going to determine how rare is volley.
Right.
But again, I have a hard time seeing handgunners with volley, Thunderers with volley. Like, pistols do not volley.
No, they don't do that. They would need like a volley (1), meaning you get 1 extra rank or something like that.
So, moving along, November 16th, we finally got our Weta workshop announcement.
Yeah.
So if you have $1,300, you can have a statue of Titus.
There you go.
Or you could start a home improvement project, or a whole other army.
I was going to say, or your wife could kill you if that shows up.
Yeah,
because let me tell you, if you do that instead of her kitchen, you're dead.
I mean, if this is something that's on your priority list and you can pay your bills,
if you
at the end
can
of the day,
do it, very cool.
Good on you.
Invite me over so I can see it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, again, as someone that's into anime, there's anime statues that sell $400 to $600 all the time, and it's just
in their budget. I play with plastic toys all day. Woe be it to me to actually say something bad about you buying this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a little surprised to see the price tag. To see that was the route they wanted to go.
Yeah, I could see Weta hitting it and like making a good quality, less quality obviously, but at the $100 to $150 range, and a lot more of us nerds buying it.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly was expecting something between again that $400 and $600 range. But again, if you want it, go for it.
Yeah.
As always, top quality here. So now we're into November 18th. We have our reveals from the World Champion Warhammer Fighting Championships of the world.
Yep.
So first they gave us a new Necron guy. Good for them.
Yeah, new Necron. I mean, he looks like a Necron. Kind of cool, whatever type of techno magic he's doing there with his hand.
Yep, and I think there's... I think something in here reminds me of a rumor engine. I could be wrong on that one, though.
You're probably right. I feel like the tail might have been in there at some point.
That's kind of where I was thinking too, but I can't remember. So, good on you Necron players. Moving along, we got our... what is this guy? Some sort of Dark Angel thing.
Asmodea is ready. Yeah. I mean, interesting. I don't think... So, plastic smoke is hard to do.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of it here, nor would I be capable of painting it right to make it look even this good. Yeah. So I'm biased. But very cool, interesting model. I'm not quite certain what his lore is, but Dark Angels players, you got another cool guy. I think I actually like without the hood better, just to see the full helmet.
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the helmet, so I think the more you hide it, the better.
Okay, then.
So I think he is the lead...
chaplain.
Well, so for Dark Angels, they have chaplains, but then they have interrogator chaplains. And I think he is the lead interrogator chaplain.
Okay. That would make sense.
Yeah. Then we got new... were these specifically the Knights, or were these just Terminators? Okay, just Terminator Squad for the first company. Which, they're
Nothing
awesome.
Wrong with that. Yeah.
They're awesome looking.
Yeah.
I gotta say they're stepping a little close into Grey Knight territory with those helmets.
They are.
Somebody
They
will
are.
get sued.
Let's see them just say, okay, and now here's the Grey Knight kit where we swap out that shield and the shoulder pads. Congrats, everybody.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Top notch. Happy to see it.
Yeah.
Then we got our next book, The Mad King Rises, along with the model of the Mad King.
Yeah.
It's a
terrifying beast. I like it.
Yeah, he's ready to kick someone's shit in. That's
somebody who's been playing some Elden Ring and decided to make their own boss into a model. Like, he's good. He's good. It's a good time to be a Flesh Eater Courts player.
Yeah. He looks really good. He super cool.
And some of the Flesh Eater Courts that are carrying like actual weapons in the picture in his article. Very interesting to see. So, we'll see more on that here.
Is that in the same? I want to go past it here.
Yeah, if you just go to the article only about the Mad King there, you go all the way to the bottom. That's where that picture is.
Yeah. So, we got new Crypt Guard.
Yeah.
Excited to see that.
Looks like another hero off to the left that we missed as well.
Oh, yep, we got him coming.
And then off to the right of the photo, it looks like ghouls riding undead bats.
Oh.
So.
Oh yeah, those are on the next article.
Yep. So
those are the Morbheg Knights.
There we go. So.
So
dust off your Flesh Eater Courts.
Again, we got. I really hope this is with. Who all do we get? We got Seraphon this edition, and now we're getting Flesh Eater Courts. We got Soulblight got. Well, I guess that was last edition, but.
But they got an update. Yeah.
Right. I hope this is a sign that they're.
Slowly moving their way through the armies that and maybe have less units. Yeah.
Right. Here's the thing: it's like, I'm okay if you don't want to give me another hero. Just give me an updated.
Just units. Yeah.
Just give me an updated unit.
Yep. Yeah. We get 2.5-ish regular units. I'm not entirely certain on like the new Vargo Courtier. I'm guessing it's just supposed to be the hero. Like, it is just a modern version.
Yeah. So I said we'll see. They announced this past Sunday that this is already, the box is going up for pre-order next week. So
very cool.
It's close.
Glad to see it.
We also got a Cruel Boy Underworld Warband.
Yep. More Cruel Boys.
They are Cruel Boys.
Yeah. I guess the guy with the knife in his teeth might be my favorite of the crew. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what's funny is, like, I am not against the Cruel Boys at all. I think it's a cool idea. I think the models are cool, but these, to me, just kind of read as just very uninspired. They're very just... You could throw these models into a unit of Cruel Boys, and I wouldn't know they were there.
I hear you.
Still, if you're a Cruel Boys player, you have something to play.
Hey, something new.
What else we get? We got a Mark 6 Assault Marine rocket. Assault Marines.
Yeah, just Assault Marines.
Rocket at the Age of Darkness.
Yes, there we go.
Yep, so they got big old AC units on their back.
Yep. Some beakies with a jump pack.
Have fun with that. All right, and then we got Dune Buggy.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay.
New buggy.
And then we got
that type of stuff.
Flesh Terror unit that they're again squeezing in through Kill Team.
Yeah.
Is this just our new way of getting new things?
It seems to be, and I don't know how I feel about it anymore. But yeah, I think that's just how we do it now.
And then we got confirmation that the rumor that we heard is 100% accurate for the old world. We got a reveal of the dragon, and I thought there was a... Hold on, I gotta stick head. Nope. So I'm pretty sure they did show the box set that we were getting for that. It's just I'm not seeing it here in this article, but so I think this is an awesome model. I saw people griping, groaning about it online.
Oh, what were some of the downs?
I mean, it's
just that it. I mean, I guess you could say it kind of feels like it's older in the middle section, like in the body, but like.
Now,
I don't know.
One thing that I did see is there was a sculptor that worked on this that is no longer with Games Workshop. Kind of bitched and moaned about it and said that it wasn't Tomb Kingsy enough for him. And he wanted to go with something like a crocodile or something. But I'm like, I mean, you kind of gave him a crocodile-y face.
Right. Yeah, you kind of got that crocodile in there.
And a dragon's better than a crocodile anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably the biggest thing I'm concerned about for Old World is all of these... Dragons? No, not even that. It's just all of these old fucking whining ass negative like
the people who lit their armies on fire when Age of Sigmar came out. Is that what you're saying?
Like, here's the thing: is like every time we've had a review or a reveal that has had anything Old World, all it is constant flame for whenever there's Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar's dead. Why even waste your time? Old World comes out. Well, that's not the thing I wanted to see. Like,
right?
These like, I don't know. Here's the thing: if they're just loud fringe, fine. If they are the core, the game is even more so going to be dead.
Right. It's going to be in a struggle here at the start. Agreed.
Because these people, the AOS is dead, or we want to kill AOS so we can play our Old World. They're essentially a cancer to wargaming, and they really need to be ousted. I'll tell you right now, if you play this game and you go down to your club and there's someone like this, pack your shit up and leave. Let that whiny, crotchety idiot sit in navel gaze all afternoon because no one refuses to play with him.
Mm-hmm. 6 months, go back to that game store because they need your business, and that guy will be gone.
Right. Just go back the next day.
Yeah.
But just, come on, guys. Age of Sigmar, there's one thing no one can take away from it is the fact that as a community, you can talk to almost anybody.
I was going to say, whoever you rocked up to for your opponent for the day, cool enough guy. You'll probably enjoy your 3 hours that you're going to sit there and play your game. Bullshit. Go see how their buddy's doing afterwards, too.
Right. Like, if you plan on playing Old World, bring that spirit with you because the game needs it.
Yes, definitely.
I decided to include the Middle-earth reveal from November 20th because I know every time we've talked about Middle-earth, this is the army you talk about having interest in.
Yes, it is.
Where they're having partial, clear ghosts.
An idea of what's going on. Yeah. No, I like it. It's cool.
I want to see what these look like in person. Now,
yes.
I will warn everybody. I have the translucent ring bearer set, and they have all turned yellow. I've kept them out of the sun, but they still turned yellow. So,
okay. Well, thank you for the heads up.
If you get them, or if anyone listening gets them, make sure you put a little paint on them, seal them. Okay. And that should prevent any yellowing issue. Other than that, I think it's an awesome idea. I think they look really cool. I want to see what they look like in person. I have a feeling they're not going to look like this exactly.
No, these are the good ones. Right.
I really wish they would have shown an unpainted version.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think we all would have liked to just see, hey, you just show us the sprue.
Right.
This is one where that would speak volumes to people.
Right,
whatever
right.
this brew looks like.
All right, so here we got another old world almanac. This is the fight phase. Again, still very similar to kind of what we already have. Essentially, we did get a little bit of a better understanding of the weapon skill chart. Everything's kind of been pushed up a little bit, so we should be getting a couple more attacks through. So I expect to see probably a little bit better of armor than what we kind of were seeing in fantasy. So again, more successes, especially this day and age. If you failed in this day and age with like your 40 rolls or whatever the heck it is than you did in fantasy, especially if you're only attacking one friggin' one friggin' row, like we'll see, man.
It will be interesting.
But yeah, they talked about the combat results, so that's pretty much, I'm pretty sure that's about the same.
Yeah, I don't see much change there.
The only thing they don't talk about is your BSB, which I'm sure is going to either
there's a battle standard in there.
Well, there's interesting. So your battle standard is basically your guy with a flag in the unit.
Oh, because I also see standard there, so that's why I was confused.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess
combat results. Third down is standard. Fourth is battle standard. So
all right then. So we'll see. So the battle standard is only +1. A little bit of a surprise on that one, but it is what it is. Let's see.
The break test example.
Oh,
is
the musician is no longer in there, though.
What was it?
Musician. Musicians break ties.
Broke tie. Yeah. Yep.
So they talk about give ground, fall back in good order, and break and flee. I hate the break and flee
idea that you just get run down and that's the end of you.
Right. But again, in fantasy, that's all you had.
Right. Now we have options.
Right. Because again, I mean, there's the land where round 2, you have 2 giant hordes collide. You lose by 1. You fail the leadership test.
And then it just goes down the line. Yeah.
And then they just run over and you just lost, 500 points of models round 2 because bad rolls. Which is definitely not... That's not the way that you want to win a game there. So, this kind of having a little bit of a tiered result, I think is fine. Then, of course, we got more battle magic, and which again also looks good. Let's see here. Oh, then we got on November 24th, we got a little bit of a preview article for what we can see in Flesh Eaters. So we have the battle trait, Noble Deeds. Each time a friendly Flesh Eater Court's hero successfully casts a spell that is not unbound, give 1 Noble Deed point to that hero.
Yes. So we're working on our Noble Deeds. All right. Did we cast a thing? Yes. Cool. Did we chant a prayer? Yep. Cool.
Okay, all right. So I'm sorry. This is the first time I'm reading this one, so we're all in this together. Each time a friendly Flesh Eater Court hero fights, after all its attacks are resolved, give that hero a number of Noble Deed points equal to the number of wounds and/or mortal wounds caused by that hero in that phase that were allocated to enemy units. Do not count wounds and/or mortal wounds caused by that hero's mount. Flesh Eater Courts cannot have a maximum of 6 Noble Deed points at any one time. And anything just blah, blah, blah. Okay, does it say what we do with these? Let's see. Perform enough noble deeds and nearby followers run into a fervous state of jubilance, abandoning themselves into a feeding frenzy of recognition of the deeds of their liege by adding +1 attack in melee.
Yep, +1 attack in melee for within 12, but they have to have 6 noble deeds. That's the only thing I think it's going to be hard. These are hard things to turn on, in my mind.
Yeah, especially only for +1 attack, so we'll see how that works out.
Right.
Courtier models become rallying points for the serfs and the knights who serve them. At the end of the movement phase, they can bellow rousing speeches encouraging their bannermen to return to the fray with renewed. Boy, they like to just throw up flowers on that one. Okay, so here's what that means. At the end of your movement phase, each courtier can spend one of their noble deeds to return one slain model to a friendly serfs unit that is within 10 inches of them. Or two of their noble deeds point to return one son they unite. That is within 10 inch. You can use this ability multiple times per turn as long as blah, blah, blah. So, okay.
Yep. So, I think it's worse for the serfs. Because of the way it's reading, you can only bring back one serf.
Well, well, no, because it says you can use this multiple times each time as long as the required noble deeds points are available. So you can technically get your 6 and then bring 6 guys back.
But the Knights one seems strong to me.
This seems... Well, let's just... You burn 2 for 1 night. It's probably the Knights.
But the Knights are definitely better than the serfs. So
I don't... So at first blush, that does not feel like a balanced mechanic.
Okay.
To me, like, as an undead army, I'm assuming that these guys are still going to be no save or 1 save or 6 up save.
Bad saves, yeah.
1 wound. If this is their recursion ability,
pretty light.
Yeah. Flesh Eater Quartz might not be as big of a deal as I thought. However, if this is an addition to another recursion ability, we might be in trouble.
Right.
But
well, they didn't have a recursion ability per se really last time. They had I'm going to bring on a whole other unit.
That's true.
Really. So
that's true.
If this is the change, I like this more than just having extra points. So.
I mean, I know a lot of people complain about recursion, but it's like, if that's the way the army defends itself...
Yeah, if that's its armor save, essentially.
Right. I mean, Necrons have been doing that. It
challenges you to kill it whenever you get there, because it has no save anyway.
I mean, I guess it's going to determine how many courtiers you can put onto the table, realistically. Like,
I mean, yeah. You could probably put... My guess is you could probably build a list so you can do 4, right? And,
I mean, who knows?
And what are you missing out on?
If there are some units that count as courtiers as opposed to
that'll be interesting. Yes, we'll see. We will see once we see a book.
Then we have the Courts of Delusion. Yeah. In the first battle round, after players have received their starting command points, but before the start of the first turn, you can pick one of the following delusions to apply during the battle. Crusading Army, add 1 to run rolls and charge rolls for friendly Flesh Eater Courts. Defenders of the Realm, add 1 to save rolls for friendly Flesh Eater Courts while they are contesting an objective you control. So I'll tell you Flesh Eater Courts right now, some of the played... Stormcast, that second one's not worth it.
Right, I was going to say, so we're taking Crusading Army.
Yeah, you're 6 up to 5 up. That's not going to be as nice as you think it is.
Right, yeah. Even it's a 5 up to 4 up, not as good as you thought it was.
So, yeah. All right, and then finally, November 27th, came out the morning of recording. Now we talk about the morale and psychology phase. Again, they kind of mainly focus on the break test, which, again, we kind of talked about here. Psychology, I don't think there's anything really here that is...
Yeah, fear, terror, stupidity, all that's back, which is cool to see. That was fun.
Awesome picture of a witch hunter that didn't make it into the newest edition of Sigmar. Not good enough for your roots. Okay. We got to see a Dragon Ogre Shagoth, which...
Got to see the whole profile.
Yep. That... Whew. Yeah, that's... I'm interested to see. To see. So, and then again, we get another example of a spell. Battle Lust. Until the end of this turn, target friendly unit gains the frenzy and hatred all enemies special rule. Not a bad spell
at all. Yeah. Frenzy used to be an extra attack when you charge, and hatred was rerolls to hit. So
right.
Hit or wound, one of the two. But yeah. Pretty good.
Oh boy. Sorry,
Don't fall asleep on us yet.
Sorry, guys.
Jeez.
Getting old. Can't help it. All right, let's see here. Let's move over here to the rumor engines.
Yeah.
Okay, so first one, we got a 40k hand crossbow bolt.
I mean, yeah, it almost looks to me, and I hate to even say this because what I want it to be is Sigmar, but the back end of it almost looks like a bolt pistol.
Yeah.
End to it. So is this just somebody rigged up a bolt pistol to shoot it like a crossbow? And then if so, why go through the trouble?
Because it's an Inquisitor.
Shooting rockets. It's so much more fun to shoot rockets.
Because it's an Inquisitor, that's why.
You're probably right.
Yeah. Let's see. Then we have the 7th. Got some bones and rocks.
Interesting. Yep. Something that's going to be sitting on the base of this model.
I have no idea.
I don't really either. I'm guessing it's going to have to be something undead. I don't know if that rock, the rune, is supposed to give us a heads up as to what it is.
I think the rune is a red herring.
Okay. It just belonged to whoever's dead on this base right now.
What does this... So you see the head, the skull with all the stuff lashed to it.
Yes.
That, to me, makes it look like it's a big hat.
Okay.
Who has big hats like that?
Would this be perhaps some...
Chaos Dwarves. That's who had it.
Dwarves? That's what I thought.
First look, Chaos Dwarves.
Yeah. Yep. Here we go.
November 14th.
I mean, you can keep up with that delusion, but, you and the flesh eater courts and your delusion, let me tell you.
I'm going to say for November 14th, this is a Votan mine-laying kit.
I mean, Votan's probably it. It's that or it's
something else. But it's definitely 40k, and these are definitely mines, and they're definitely being laid.
Yes. Can't argue.
Lastly, got November 21st, hand gripping a rock.
Yeah, some sort of bird hand thing, maybe. Or more flesh eater courts, perhaps, but I doubt it.
Maybe an ogre.
Could be something ogre-wise, yeah.
Maybe it could be a new Gargant kit, and it's upside down.
I don't know, that thumb doesn't look like it has any sort of weight on it.
It's holding a big rock.
Holding a big rock and chuck it at your head.
Yeah, that's why there's no weight, because he's in the middle of throwing it.
Okay. I don't know about that.
Or
I think it's the right way around.
Could be a Chaos Dwarf hand grabbing onto it.
Obviously, once you become a Chaos Dwarf, you lose your pinky. And you grow some terrible talons for fingernails.
All right, so I guess technically we shouldn't have done these just yet because I do have one piece of news.
Oh, yes.
Do have one piece of news we got to get to. Let's see, where is it? Okay.
Yeah,
so I copied and pasted this because I refuse to give the page any additional views. PC Gamer, which has recently decided that they're going to... I guess what their plan was is they were like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to start a new venture capital of e-toilet paper. where you can bring up an article and you can wipe your ass with it because it's better than anyone fucking reading a goddamn word you say.
Oh boy.
So like, here's the thing. I played Realm of Ruin. It's not for me. I don't like it.
Right.
But it's just because I don't like it. It's not because it's a terrible game. It's, I think it could use a little more polish.
Mm-hmm.
And he criticizes the game itself. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I have highlighted all of the has nothing to do with the game and only to do with the fact that this person should not be allowed to write news articles.
Yeah.
So again, we'll go ahead and start here. I have a couple things highlighted.
Okay.
So here's what we'll do. I'm going to read out what I have highlighted, and then I'll explain.
Explain why they're wrong. Is that
right?
Is that
well,
what
not necessarily wrong. I mean, because again, like, look. So okay. So here we'll start off. First paragraph. Second. Well, so first sentence is a run-on sentence. So you should probably learn grammar if you're going to focus your job being about writing words. So the last part of your first sentence, which is a run-on sentence where you say, Realm of Ruins, an overly simplistic RTS that focuses on low unit count skirmishes, definitively evokes the spirit of Age of Sigmar, which is unfortunately the worst version of Warhammer. So,
okay, we are incorrect at the end of that sentence.
Again, there is no world where this is objectively true. You can say, this is my least favorite version of Warhammer. Mm-hmm. That's not relevant to the game.
Right.
Because it wasn't like hey, we put up a vote, do you want us to make a Warhammer Fantasy RTS or a Warhammer Age of Sigmar RTS? It is, you have a bunch of 40k RTSs, you have the old world in Total Warhammer, so let's do something for Age of Sigmar. Mm-hmm. So if you want to go on to your worst version of Warhammer, I'm sorry, grognards that I told to go fuck off earlier, but whenever 8th edition came out, it was pulling less than 3% of the company's profits.
Right. End of the day, whenever you look at it from the company's point of view, this Age of Sigmar is slightly more successful than...
Right.
By many folds over.
Right. I mean, it is making them more money. Again, of course, it's not toppling 40k. 40k is too popular to be over-toppled.
Yes, 40k is a monolith that you're not going to get.
And even still, I could even come up with an objective comparison to why Age of Sigmar is better than 40k.
Sure.
Now again, 40k people could come up with a non-grognardian 40k player,
say 40k is better. Yeah,
would be able to make that argument as well. However, there's no way. There's
Either
no
one
way.
Of you are wrong. Is the fun part.
Right. Yeah. But for fantasy, you would just have to go down to subjective opinion. Mm-hmm. So then he also types the next sentence with his asshole. It's far more forgiving than its grandiose old world counterpart, Total War Warhammer, but only a fraction as satisfying or interesting to play. Here's the problem. First off, I actually think Total War Warhammer has a lot of forgiving aspects into it once you actually get your army.
Oh, once you have a big army actually rolling, yes.
Yeah, it's actually pretty forgiving. However, to say Total War Warhammer is an RTS, I feel, is incorrect. It is a... Okay. It's more of a... Because here's the thing. The map section,
yes.
The campaign or the empire building. That is not an RTS.
Fair. Yes.
And then on top of that, the fights aren't really RTSs either. While there is some strategy that you need to do in real time, right. You are not base building, you are not resource managing, you are not capturing things. It is a medieval combat simulator.
Sure. As Total Wars tend to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Like, there's a reason why they don't have Total War World War II. Like,
yes.
So again, you're just throwing sticks to throw stones. Like, get over yourself. Then we have the heading of the next section, Old World Blues, where all you're saying is, this isn't fantasy, so this could give me a fucking blowjob and I'm still not going to like it.
All right. Tell us how you really feel.
Again, I have no problem with you not liking this game, but to just shit on Age of Sigmar because it hurt your feelings whenever we said fantasy goes away for a little bit. Sorry. Did Games Workshop come to your house, take your army? No. Did they take your books? No. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, so we have basically the first 3 paragraphs of this fucking diarrhea article here. So aesthetically, Realms of Ruin looks like a real game of Age of Sigmar. Colon, which is not the proper use of the colon.
Hey, they don't teach English anymore, okay?
Sparse smears of terrain. Stop. Okay. So you've played a little bit of fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How many pieces of terrain does the standard...
Even less than good old Sigmar does.
Right. So it's like you put a couple hills in places that you can start, maybe something that blocks line of sight.
Maybe something in the middle that forces you to have to wheel at some point.
So if you're looking at 5 pieces of terrain, that's a pretty clustered board.
Yeah.
Age of Sigmar is 2 to 3 pieces per... What was it? Did they break it into 6s, I think?
Yeah, they broke it into 6 sections, yeah.
So it's 3 to 4 pieces per section.
Yep.
So there you're wrong. And wide open battle mats. So again, that goes to the last part. The 2 large 6x4 foot play space of the war game. Stop. So here's another thing. I believe the person who wrote this, their name was Noah. Now, Noah, I know it's hard to look up free rules to make sure you actually know what the fuck you're talking about, but Fantasy was on a 6 foot by 4 foot board, along with Warhammer 40k. Age of Sigmar only was in a 6 foot by 4 foot for first edition, which if you actually did any sort of paying attention, you'd realize that they moved it down to 60 by 44 to make it a much smaller play space, to make those 2 to 3 pieces of terrain in every one of these 6 squares make a little bit more of a clustered thing to actually have you have to worry about it, which, by the way, Fantasy would not work on. Beach?
True.
All right.
Yeah.
And you'll be fielding armies that are roughly the same size and composition found in the Age of Sigmar's army book. Also incorrect.
Oh,
because again, now I could at least say that you were just some idiot moron that looked and went, no points, me no like game.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're going into the point where the game did have points, because that's the only way you would know about the rough size of the Age of Sigmar army. At which point, it has never been a small game, unless you're looking at Stormcast or Ogres.
Fair. Yeah.
I mean, I could show you our buddy Alex's old City of Sigmar army where the son of a bitch had almost 200 bottles on the table. Or,
yeah, that's because he was a psycho, let's be honest.
Or, Papa of the Strength Hammer channel with his Witch Elves Plenty where he's fielding 100 to 200 witch elves. I guess that's pretty sparse, though. You idiot. All right, he continues to be stupid. The narrative centers on a beaten-down Dawnbringer Crusade regiment of the Stormcast Eternals. Stop. So, the Dawnbringer Crusade, now again, I'm willing to give him some leeway on this one. Because, again, I didn't play the campaign.
Sure.
Okay? So, if in the game they say that this is a Dawnbringer Crusade of Stormcast Eternals, I can't do anything about that, and he may be right on that. However, as far as the narrative goes, Stormcast Eternals do not go on Dawnbringer crusades. The cities of Sigmar go on Dawnbringer crusades, and the Stormcast may accompany them.
Right.
Moving on. Invading the death and destruction-laden realm of Gur to secure a powerful blah, blah, blah. If you've ever glanced a fantasy story sideways once in your life, you can figure out the rest coming from a fantasy dick-sucking moron who didn't realize that the old world was Western Europe.
Uh-huh. Oh, boy.
Dear God! Like, okay, so I know if Chuck and Neil watch this, they're going to be bleeding blood out of their eyes. But guess what?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
The old world stuff was cliche, but that was the draw of it. They took cliche and they just turned it a little. You know, like that's how they got everybody interested in. Like everyone was able to come aboard and go, yes, this was cool because of this or because of that, whatever, blah blah blah. Oh, look at that cliche, and then they just do a little extra thing. Whereas Age of Sigmar, you literally have sky pirate dwarves.
Yes. Yes.
So you have elves that bring the ocean with them when they go on their land campaigns.
It's a magical ocean. Yes.
I mean, you have an elf that has made an alliance with the Avatar of the Sun. Or I guess Selenar's the moon.
I don't have a good one. I don't have a good one for that.
So, like, now again, the story itself may be a little... But, like, here's the thing. Most fantasy stories are like that. And so, if you're bitching about Age of Sigmar about that, then you have to bitch about fantasy about that. I mean, here's your other one, Total War Warhammer. What's the story there? It's just a guy who's getting... It's just the... it's the prequel trilogy from Star Wars.
Yes, but I mean, a lot of things can be just called the prequel trilogy from Star Wars.
Exactly. That's my exact point. Like, all you're doing here is you're just trying to find wounds that do not exist to rub salt in them. Let's move on to the next catastrophe against literature. The biggest issue with Realm of Ruins is fundamental to Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, once again, not used properly. The rebooted fantasy setting of the Mortal Realms is exceedingly dull, especially in contrast to the visually stunning old world Lily. Once again. Literally 3 dog turds stacked on top of each other wearing a fucking trench coat pretending to be a writer. Like, how stupid.
We can agree. This is someone with a passing knowledge of what the current scape of Warhammer looks like.
Here's the problem. Here's where I don't give him his pass. I looked at his profile. His profile openly states Wargamer. So if you're going to come in here throwing mud, you better fucking know what you're talking about.
Fair enough.
So here's the thing. Like I said, there is nothing wrong with going, hey, this is like King Arthur, but it's also it's just King Arthur. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, you can't go, oh, it's this conceptually stunning idea. Oh, here's dwarves that are exactly based off of what Tolkien wrote. Here's elves that do the exact same thing. Here is humans who are just medieval Germanics. Like, they didn't reinvent the wheel. They came in, found a wheel, and went, that's pretty good. And then made it look kind of cool. Like, again, Age of Sigmar cannot be more spruced up.
Yeah.
We're talking literally about in the next couple years of having shadow dragon elves.
Yeah.
And again, here's the other thing that this drives me absolutely up a wall. When people say that Age of Sigmar is a reboot. Under no circumstances is it a reboot. It is a continuation. It is a time skip.
Right. A very long one.
Right.
But yes.
But Archeon still did all the Archeon stuff. Gotrek was still there, and now he's here, and now he's confused as to why he's here. It's
right.
Sigmar still remembers everything. The Glotkin remembers everything. Manfred remembers everything. Like,
all that stuff did happen. Yes,
right. It happened. It still exists.
20+ year history in the wargame community.
Exactly.
It was still there.
Exactly. Yeah. It's. I mean, we've gotten new stories, we've gotten new video games, we've had new things put into the old world. So, like, it's not like it's dead. Old world's not dead, especially considering that old world is coming back out.
Right.
But even prior to them saying
old world, prequel of it now, to be fair.
right, exactly. It's like, but even prior to the announcement of Old World, Warhammer Fantasy wasn't dead.
No, there was still a very big group of people who loved it.
Again,
and the Sigmar said it's canon.
Right.
Like,
not only did we get new games on top of that, the Age of Sigmar lore is built on top of that. Okay, so let's continue on to the third travesty. So this is where he's going to tell us. For those unfamiliar with the difference between Old World and Mortal Realms, imagine everything you like about Jesus Christ. Total War Warhammer got sucked into a portal. This really did happen in the lore. And then a wizard turned everyone who lived into a League of Legends champion. What are you fucking talking about?
Is he just upset that he's not playing Total War Warhammer because the armies aren't ginormous?
This is what it basically boils down to, is he just wants to play Total War Warhammer, and he doesn't, like, there's nothing this game could have done outside of just been Total War Age of Sigmar. And just be a skin.
Right.
It's so high gloss, so bereft of any characteristic Warhammer, so bereft of any of the characteristic Warhammer edge and grit. If Warhammer Fantasy / 40K are punk and death metal, then Age of Sigmar is Imagine Dragons. First off, I like Imagine Dragons. I don't know what I don't know what he's throwing stones for.
He might not be wrong with this. I mean, to be fair, Age of Sigmar is not in your face type of dark fantasy.
I mean,
but if you read for I don't know, 20 seconds, it's there.
Right.
It's just the model doesn't have only skulls adorning it.
Right. I'm sorry that they got tired of just sculpting nothing but skulls. But you literally have the cities of Sigmar, which are the last bastion of humanity, which literally has chaos throwing themselves at the gate 24/7, or however many hours per day and how many days per week they have.
It's 24 and a half hours. Okay.
Right. We
changed it.
It is more grimdark and grittier than fantasy ever was.
Right.
Because they could literally come out with the next book and they would just have to finish the sentence to finish humanity off.
Right. I mean, yeah, you have all kinds of fun things. You have that Stormcast are turning a little bit, inhuman and inhumane now that they've been reforged so many times.
The Protectors are now becoming the drunk dad with a
yes,
with a trigger finger backhand.
My silly sea elves steal the souls of mortals so that their children can be born.
Right.
Nothing dark about that.
Right. I mean, it's just, dude, if you could have even tried, like, you just didn't. Anyway, so that was the bulk of the things that are wrong, because he does okay moving into the game. Okay. Again, it's still...
He took a pit stop to say he doesn't like Age of Sigmar before he got there.
I mean, now, don't get me wrong. The rest of the article is a Kotaku-level bunt. But there's a couple more I want to point out. So then under the heading, A Losing Battle, Realms of Ruin takes clear inspiration from 2009's Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War 2, parentheses, one of the best Warhammer games.
Okay.
You dumb idiot. Warhammer 2, as much as a small faction of the Warhammer video gaming people scream about how good it is, it killed the series.
I was going to say, I feel like a lot of people wanted Dawn of War 2 to just be Dawn of War 1, but we put more money into it.
Right, exactly. So, I mean,
yeah. I was disappointed the first time I played that game and went, I'm going to take control like 5 dudes.
Right. I mean, here's the thing is like, so, now this is subjective, and I'll grant them that.
100%.
However, to use a little objectivity, Dawn of War 1 has more concurrent players on Steam than Dawn of War 2. To this day.
Well,
so you're wrong. Again, Noah, you idiot. So then we got a little bit more wrong here. Realms Ruined, another just...
Yeah.
You're really, I'm really glad you don't want to be biased in this.
Yeah.
Where you say you described the forces of Tzeentch, the demon of change. You at least use the proper form of demon when it comes to Warhammer.
Right. We at least went to British.
I apologize, but Tzeentch is not exactly just a demon. He's the god of change. He is a god. Not a demon,
Maybe the game calls him a demon of change. You don't know. Maybe.
And then he says that the Cruel Boys are Uruk-hai inspired. What fantasy world are you living in?
To be fair, I heard this a lot whenever Cruel Boys first came out, that they look like the Lord of the Rings orcs.
And those people were wrong too. So it's not my fault that this moron just perused Reddit back in, 2012? Or no, I guess they came out, 2020 or 2019?
2020-ish, probably. Yeah.
Again.
Maybe, let's hope it's 2019. Otherwise, we can blame Cruel Boys for COVID.
Uruk-hai inspired. So, okay. So you already have the Warhammer Fantasy Age of Sigmar orc that is the big, strong, giant jack dude. And then you have the Cruel Boys, which are these leaner, weird triangle shapes with little arms and legs. Then you go over to Middle Earth, which I don't know why you'd bring Middle Earth into all this. They didn't do anything. Where you take the regular goblin or orc who is little and scrawny, and you modify them into the big, strong Uruk-hai that look nothing like the Cruel Boys. They don't live in swamps. They don't do tricks. They don't hang out with Now you're stupid in 3 franchises. That's 4 franchises. And then, of course, we have our last one, Stormcast Eternal, who are quite literally Space Marines from Warhammer 40k. I can't even. I don't even have it. I don't even have it. Oh, God almighty. The bizarre combat mechanics and baffling balance strained my patience as much as this article did. And as a hardcore Warhammer fan, I'm very used to having my patience tested. I think you should be putting, you're very used to testing the patience of others if you actually play this with other human beings. Which, dear God, I hope you don't put anyone through that misery. Dear God.
There we go.
Take your army, put it in the oven for a couple hours, and then hop in after it. Don't write anymore. Don't play Warhammer anymore. Shut up.
After Matt's rant here, for anyone who is wondering, you can go to Noah Smith's other article, 10 Tips to Help You Conquer the Mortal Realms in Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin. Anyway. Breathe.
Okay. Move along.
You did it.
All right. So.
We got there.
Change.
You're alive.
So
no one else is listening anymore, but it's okay.
Moving along. Neil's doing a little campaign thing with a hex map. Go watch his channel for that stupid thing. So, of course...
Yes.
No, I kid. So he actually finished... I don't know if that's the entire map or just the Ohio map.
I think that's the Ohio map.
Well, if he's just finishing that now...
Carl's doing, I think, the PA map.
Oh, Carl's doing...
I think they're both working on
Oh, man, that's going to be... Oh.
Yeah.
All right. We might get us a little late, but it's going to beat the hell out of yours, man.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. And anyone who can should go take a look at the video of that map, because...
So, in our description, we rarely do... we rarely put too much in the description. I am going to link the video. I think Chuck put it on the channel here. And we'll...
It's a beaut.
Yeah. It's... Yeah. I'm surprised Chuck didn't change the music, because Neil did just use Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. I mean, Chuck doesn't care about monetization. He'll just throw in the Legend of Zelda. It's fine.
So I think we talked about this a little bit ago, where Neil wanted to do Narrative Heroes, wasn't sure exactly how to do it. I offered to share with him the Nova Heroes that I came up with an age and a half ago, and of course those weren't good enough for him.
Well, why didn't you just do a better job when you did that? What's wrong with you?
Which, by the way, I get. I give him a hard time about it, but I get it, because that is made for a very limited structure.
Yes, this is something we're going to play maybe 3 games over 1 weekend and never think about again. This is going to be a long campaign.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to come... so he asked me to make a new hero system. I said I would be willing to. He asked me if I wouldn't mind, and that's where we went. So this is where we are. So we have a whole cloth, brand new hero system. Doesn't exist anywhere else. I'm not going to say it's the most creative.
It's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Right. I'm not going to say it's the most creative. Basically, anyone that's played D&D could come up with something very similar. I just tried to be as thorough as I could be.
Nothing wrong with that.
So, what I want to do is I want to kind of go over how the system works with you, and I also want to let you know that I'm going to be putting the links to these documents also in the description of this video. So if you want to do a weekend thing or your own campaign, you have access to them. They use the Path to Glory system for leveling up. and so they should be able to handle that for. They should be able to handle that pretty well for relatively long. And worst case scenario, if it is if it's too much, then start over.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's boiled down into 3 documents. First, we have the start here, which is what I have on the screen right now. This basically runs over how the system works and highlight all of your options. And then they break them down in the other 2. So then number 2 is your class document, and then number 3 is your race document. What I tried to do here with this first one is I wanted to go over all of kind of the core basic ways of how heroes work. So you have your warrior, which, interestingly enough, out of every time I've tested this, or even with the Nova system, in Age of Sigmar, the warrior is typically the weakest.
It's a weak hero.
However, people gravitate to warrior so fast.
Yeah,
he was definitely the most chosen. I forget what the warrior was called in the last one, but
okay.
He was definitely the most chosen out of all of them. And from what I gather for our campaign, it's already the most people have chosen him.
Oh wow! Okay, very cool.
But yeah, so basically, warrior is just stand and fight. Archer is range with some debuffing. Wizard is, of course, your caster. Priest is you can kind of decide on how you want to go. I obviously give them prayers, but then I also kind of give them the ability to kind of focus on dispelling, and you can kind of do a cross between the 2. Cavalry, which is highly mobile, not necessarily meant to get caught up in combat, and is probably the highest source of mortal wounds out of the heroes. And then the strategist, which is he's going to be the one to be your buff piece.
Okay.
So
yeah, I did see that. I almost went strategist, actually, looking over everything.
It's a good one. Honestly,
it's one where you got to do a lot of thinking, though.
Yes.
Which, strategist.
You better.
Surprise.
If I didn't, then it would have been a bad class. Right. Honestly, I think cavalry and strategist are probably the strongest.
Okay.
Followed by wizard, priest, then archer, then warrior. In my opinion, this game hasn't necessarily been tested as much as I would like, but
I think you could build a mean archer, because I tried to do it through the levels, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and again, I mean, that's saying something if I put it second. And
second to last. Yeah,
and I'm aware of what you could do with it. So essentially, the next hurdle was the races, because. Okay. What this boils down to is you want to be as enabling as possible.
Okay. Yeah.
So again, we have Reforged. That's essentially a Stormcast Eternal. I just kind of went with the name that they went with in Soulbound.
Okay.
And so for them, I allow in here. Everything in parentheses are the armies that they are able to be taken in. So all order except Honor of Cain. Do you have access to these, Cole?
Yes, okay. I've got it up right now. Yep.
I just assumed you did.
It's okay, I got you.
Humans, they were... this was... I forget exactly what this was. There was a couple different ones, and then they basically got boiled down to Cities of Sigmar with all the changes recently.
Okay.
Dwarden, obviously Cities of Sigmar for Dispossessed, Caradron Overlords, and Fire Slayers. Else, Cities of Sigmar, Jars of Cain, Idneth, Lumineth, Sylvaneth, Skanks, Sauruses, Revenants, Kurnoths, Branch Witches, and I was surprised that covered all order.
It is very odd. Once you boil it down and look that Warden and Elf kind of cover almost half the armies in order, you go, oh, never mind.
Chaos was a little bit... Chaos was a little difficult as well, because it was really the Beasts of Chaos, because it's not an army I'm super familiar with.
Okay.
And so it was like, what deserves to be a hero, what doesn't? And after spending a little bit of time and actually dissecting them, I kind of just boiled it down to Beast Lords, Zangors, and Doombulls.
I'm okay with that. I think that's the majority of the heroes you can take in that army that aren't a monster of some sort.
Right.
So,
and again, if you want to go something monstrous, you got a Doombull. What more do you want?
Right. You can move that way. Yeah.
So again, humans are also on here. So they're Slaves of Darkness, Khorne, Slaanesh, and then whenever I was looking through Nurgle, I noticed that there was no just like cultist.
That's true. Yeah.
And anyone that was on the front lines with Nurgle, it was under Blight King. Or Blight King.
So give them that. Yeah.
Now, this is going to jump ahead a little bit. As you can see, it is nestled under human.
Right.
So, we'll get to that later. And then, of course, we have demons, where you can go Slaves of Darkness, where you can just be, undedicated.
A demon undivided.
Right.
Yes.
Khorne, Nurgle, Slaanesh, Tzeentch. For Skaven, Nurgle. And then, this is the last minute edition.
Yeah.
Warden,
the matte edition here.
Slaves of Darkness. Honestly, it makes me want to start a Slaves of Darkness army just so I can get my hair hero in there.
There we go.
And then Death was also interesting because for
Not a lot. Yeah.
I mean, FEC Vampire and Soulblade Vampire are very different beings.
Yeah.
But I kind of handle that in the individual rules. Malignant, so you have your ghosty boy, and then Skeleton was also a late introduction because I didn't even think about adding Skeleton because I was like, Vampire, who's going to do anything other than that? I was like,
OBR. Yeah,
right.
Soulblade.
Right,
Yeah.
It was basically OBR. Whenever I came in here, I was like, shit, I don't have anything for OBR, so I had to put a Skeleton in.
Fair enough.
And then Destruction was pretty easy. Grot, Auric, Ogre, Troggoth.
Yeah, pretty easy.
We're just going to do for the Mega Gargant players. We're just going to use the same thing we used for bars, which is none of my business. I'm not worried about it. Neil said he's going to do it.
There you go. Makes it easy.
I said, Neil, you got that one. I got the rest.
I feel like that's pretty reasonable. Give him one thing, you can get everything else.
Right. So, whenever it comes to a narrative hero, the one thing a narrative hero needs to do is it needs to be able to level up.
Well, heck yeah.
If you don't level, it's kind of boring. So, here, heroes are going to have 12 levels, which is might feel a little weird, but it's
with the renown, it works.
It's
right.
correct.
Yeah.
So whenever you level, so I have some key differences here. Your champion cannot be your favorite warrior, which of course is a hero or unit that you can choose to gain additional renown and to level a little faster. The additional rules for favorite warrior didn't really work with champion, and on top of that, if you do that, every champion is going to be everyone's favorite warrior, so there was no point.
Yeah.
So essentially, if he's still on the battlefield at the end of the game, you receive 1 renown. If your champion is not on the battlefield at the end of the game, roll a d6 on a 1 to 3. They do not gain a renown. On 4+, they still get a renown. Because the last thing you want is
to be never going, yeah.
Right. Because as soon as you start falling behind, then you're done. You're out.
Right.
And catch-up mechanics are a little bit rough, but they are a little baked into the path to glory, so it's not the end of the world.
Right.
If during the game your champion deals the last wound to an enemy champion, or is within 3 inches of an enemy champion when it is slain, gain 1 additional renown.
Cool.
So
get in there.
Now you'll notice that the way it's worded, meaning this is not per champion. It is if this occurs during your game, you get 1.
Right.
Because the last thing you want is to be in like a 4-player free-for-all, and you just, hey.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you go from level 1 to level 3 in one game.
Right. Yeah.
So the reason why I actually added that last thing of or is within 3 inches of an enemy champion when it is slain.
Okay.
For army for the heroes that aren't there to do damage, like the strategist and even like the priest, because they're probably not going to be doing things, but they are going to be leading to the deaths of champions.
There we go.
After the game's over, blah blah blah. If you have the number listed, you win. So,
yep.
You start off at level 1. There's tier abilities that everyone gets to pick. So you start off with 2, and you start off with what's called a realm save, where I don't know why I'm looking through and put Championes.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Championes.
All over the place. Like
good job.
Championes.
And the doc's being revised right now.
I should just leave it. I should leave it. Just put a little caption or
there we go.
Copyright.
Just asterisk. Championes.
Copyright.
Yes.
So you pick 2 tier abilities, so you have a little bit of customization as the game starts, and then your realm save. As we all know, as of right now, foot heroes don't last very long. So what this does is you have a 5+ against mortal wounds across the board automatically from go, and then when you max it out, it goes up to a 4+.
Okay.
So it's not a regular ward; it's only against mortal wounds.
Okay.
And then, as you can kind of see here, as everything goes down, you get at level 2. You can choose +1 to wound, +1 to hit, or +1 to wound, +1 to hit, wound, or rend.
Right.
So you get to choose which one you want. Do you want an additional wound? Do you want to hit better? Do you want to wound better? Do you want to rend better? Now, as you can see below, there's of course a little paragraph preventing people from just going, I want my character to have +0/+0, rend nothing, blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah.
So essentially, what it boils down to is, I'm sorry, that is somewhere else. What I have below explains how the tier abilities work. So you have to build a little pyramid. In order to get 1 tier 2 ability, you have to have 2 tier 1 abilities. In order to get a tier 3 ability, that means you need to have 2 tier 2 abilities, which means you have to have 3 tier 1 abilities. You can go 4 tier 1s and then into a tier 2. That's fine, I don't care. But if you don't go 1, 2, 3, you're not gonna
Not gonna get there.
Yep. So then I realized that I needed to break out additional attacks and damage, because otherwise, if I put it in, it's just what's going to be chosen every time.
Right. Yeah.
And what the +1 attack and +1 damage is, you choose one of your weapons. So if you have several weapon loadouts, only one of them gets the bonus.
Okay.
So, and again, who knows? I doubt we'll change it, because just like GW, we don't want you being able to be a melee and ranged monster.
That's very fair. Yep.
Because otherwise, just go with one of the. I think even the strategist has a ranged and a melee option. So
there you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's your stat gains. So add 1 to your wound characteristic. You select one of your attack profiles and increase its hit, wound, or rend. See restrictions below. And then below, you can never be better than a 2-up or a 2-up, 3-up, or a 3-up, 2-up, and your rend can never be better than 3, and your damage can never be better than 4.
There we go.
And once again, Champones.
Champones.
So here we have the injuries and casualties, because Neil insists everything must die, which means if you fight Neil, go after that hero.
Kill his stuff. Yeah,
like it's holding like a Sheetz gift card. Just So essentially, if you are not on the table at the end of the battlefield, you have to roll a die to see if they're injured.
Yes.
They are injured, and you have to roll on the injury table. So, to make it a little bit better, I put, if your injury result is a killed result, after any re-rolls, roll 6. On a 6 plus, the gods look favorably on you, and your champion lives, but you lose 3 renown.
Okay.
Now, if you're a Stormcast, which is also a huge with the state of that army,
It's okay.
This is not.
Yeah.
This is not too bad. You can just choose to come back, and you can either lose 3 renown or choose to not be able to bring your champion to the next battle as they are being reforged once again. So you basically go, I want them back next round. Okay, -3. I can wait around without them. All right, next round you get them back at full.
Right.
Now, if your injury results is a killed result and you have 5 or less renown, your champion instead has to miss the next battle, roll for renown as if they were removed from the battlefield. This is basically like, I just started with this guy. How am I supposed to beat a level 8?
Right.
And if your champion is killed, you start with a brand new champion at half renown. So there's some penalty, but not a massive penalty.
Right. You're not just completely out of it.
Right. And then I have a little thing just basically stating there are base restrictions. Do not show up with a...
Don't show up with a 120 millimeter plate and be like, there we go.
Look, if I had to create 2 heroes, you have to create 2 heroes. That's
There we go. There we go.
On to the classes here. I'm not going to read it all verbatim here just because
it's a lot. Yeah.
Looking back at it, I don't realize how much I wrote.
You did some writing, let me tell you. I got into it. You were excited.
Yeah, so I boy, with the missile weapons, I'm still not I'm still kind of like
Not convinced yet, huh?
So you have your bow, which is 18-inch range, 2 attacks, 3 threes, no rend, 1 damage. As you can kind of see here, most things don't have a rend. Crossbow, 20-inch 20-inch range, but 1 attack instead of 2, 3 threes, rend 1 damage. So figure out the math on that one. Gun is hit to 4. Hand crossbow is one of those ones that can essentially... Hand crossbow is in there as a very specific selection choice for things that want to have a melee weapon in one hand and range in the other. Magic Blast is basically just for wizards outside of their spells. Their spells are going to be strong enough, so they already have... I decided to have a little fun with that.
Yeah.
Side weapon was a last-minute introduction, as you could tell by the missing pluses here.
You're okay. You're okay. No one else would even notice it had you not said something.
Look, it's all I notice. So I just had hand weapon, and I had that was good enough. But then I was like, Archer having a full hand weapon.
Okay.
So I decided to make a side weapon to try and... Because there was, I think, 1 or 2 places where I put it in there. And all it does is just gives you 1 attack instead of 2. So it's not even a huge penalty. It's just...
No.
Yeah. So we have paired weapons. So now you're looking at 2 weapons. I was really tempted to make that 4 attacks. But I realized at level 12 you're looking at way too many attacks.
Just swinging wildly.
Way too many attacks with way too much damage.
Fair enough.
And again, like I said, great weapon. So here's the other thing: is like if you're looking at a damage dealer who has a choice between paired weapons and great weapons, it's either 3 attacks without rend or 2 attacks with rend. So it's not
right. Yeah. Not a huge change.
Right. And then pole arms with your 3-inch reach. Basically mirroring a great weapon except for without rend, and then hooves because cavalry mounts always fight. And then for this one, as I've been harping on since the dawn of time, shields should do something uniform across everything, and the last thing I wanted to do was sneak in another way to get another +1 to save. It reduces rend by 1. because I hate ignore Rend 1 and then Rend 2 is still 2 damage. Or still Rend 2.
Yeah, no, I like reducing Rend by 1. It's a cool idea.
Yeah. And on top of that, their shields are pretty rare whenever you look at it. Mm-hmm. So I'll show you kind of how this works out here. We'll just look at Warrior, and then I'll kind of point out some of the things that I found interesting with the other ones.
Sure.
So your class dictates your little circle stats. So Warrior starts with a wound of 8, move of 5, brave save of 3+, and of course, vitally important, bravery of 9.
Yeah.
Vitally important.
Vital. Gonna come up.
So then, of
100%.
course, you have to choose what weapon loadout you want. So if you go with the first one, you get a side weapon, and then you have to choose between bow, crossbow, or gun.
Yeah.
And then it's even here. So like even you have your scale of range to melee because you have everyone has to have some melee. So you have the side weapon, which is a meh. But then if you want to bring one step over, you can have the slightly better hand weapon, but the slightly worse shooting. Then you can have paired weapons, great weapon, polearm, and shield. Which again, honestly, if anyone was like, but I want to do a hand weapon and shield. All right, kid, I guess, sure.
Yeah, sure. It sounds like a downgrade. If you want to do it, I ain't gonna tell you no.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Is like, yeah, there's no sword and shield, but at the same time, like, if you have polearm,
right? If you decide that polearm doesn't sound right for your character, and you take a sword, I'm not gonna be the guy that says something. I'll let you do it all day.
That's basically what it boils down to. Is even if you want to have a sword
on the model, but still do the polearm thing, who cares?
It's fine by me. And so this is kind of how the tier abilities work. So you start off here. So you start off in tier 1.
You get to pick 2 of these off the rip, right?
Exactly. So, and unless there's something that I don't think I have any like this can't be chosen if you chose this. Like I don't think I have that anymore. I think I did a good job.
I didn't remember anything whenever I read through it.
So battle fervor, you may still charge in a turn that you ran. Strong for a tier 1 ability, but it is warrior. And
you only got a 5-inch move off the start.
Right,
I mean, obviously your race could modify that. So yeah.
Right, exactly. And you'll see it's pretty close to 5.5.3 for most classes. So I also kind of voluntarily locked myself in a little bit on that.
Good.
Berserker Barrage, if this unit successfully charged, it has the strike first ability until the end of the turn. I mean,
very cool.
Yeah, like to me that's strong.
Yeah,
it's not broken.
Especially off the start. It's not like world ending.
Right,
level 12. Yeah, it's strong, but this is also a level 12 character.
But it's very flavorful, if you ask me. Like to me, I see Berserker Barrage and I go paired weapons.
Sure.
Like you don't have to go paired weapons; you can go great weapons.
But it sounds like what that guy's using.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Braced. When an enemy unit ends its charge within a half-inch of this unit, roll a die on a 2+. The enemy unit takes D3 mortal wounds. This ability can only be used once per charge phase. I don't know if you'll know where I got inspiration for this.
I don't, other than say like a cavalry charge coming into phalanx of some sort.
So this is actually I got inspiration from 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons with long spears and pikes, where you could take your action to brace your weapon, and if someone charged into you, you could like stab,
hit them.
Yeah,
nice.
And I was like, you'll see. I was very careful to not put too many mortal wounds into the game,
which is good. Yeah, I agree with that.
And again, like I said, this is once per turn after you charge. Sure. It's
right.
Dine in the Shade. This unit is -1 to hit by ranged attacks if the unit is further than 3 inches from this model.
Okay. Give it a little survivability.
Right, exactly. That's basically what it boils down to. Is one of the issues whenever it comes to these foot heroes is range is going to be insane in this campaign.
Right.
So if there's anything we can even do, just a little. And pain is optional. If this unit is slain and there is an enemy unit within 3 inches, it is not considered slain until the end of the combat phase.
Cool. Very cool.
So, again, something comes into you, kills you first right off the bat.
You still get to swing.
Yeah, you
Cool.
you get a murder roll without murdering, and your opponent, you don't have to take any sort of, you just be like, okay, now everything else is done, I'm going to attack with him. Or
Right.
if you have any sort of ability that you can
Pump into him.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any sort of like combat heal, but if there is,
Right. That could be a fun idea. Yeah.
this is definitely one that I don't know.
You're
if there's-
scared that you missed something. Yeah.
I'm interested that I missed something.
Yeah.
So then we have the tier 2 abilities, Blood and Adrenaline. You ignore the first point of damage in every phase.
Okay. Yeah.
Hardened Veteran. This unit gains a ward of 5 up. So now your realm save just goes to a true ward save.
Okay. Okay.
Again, a little strong. I was a little wary of wards, but
Yeah.
warrior. You only get 2 of these abilities. So,
Right.
Martial Inertia. In the combat phase, every unmodified to hit roll of 6 counts as 2 successes rolled to wound separately. Again, a lot of these, like, so that, ignore the first point of damage, not exactly. Even the next one, you may pile in 6 inches. And then, of course, I had to put it in because I love it and I know how much you hate it. Shield Expert requires shield. Each unmodified save roll of 6 counts as 2 successes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it messes up things, but it's okay.
That's why I had to put it in there.
We'll give you one. We'll give you one.
If you would like, if it's not too late, I'll modify it. And what I'll do is I'll say, if you roll an unmodified save of 6, and it would save the wound, it saves an additional wound. I think that's the extra verbiage you're looking for.
Oh, no, it's okay. Do that. It's what you have here is just fine.
Because technically, based on how I wrote that, is if you have
no chance to save, you could still save.
Yeah.
But it's a hero. It's a cool thing.
And
it's
you took a shield.
Your individual. It's cool.
And then for the tier 3, Dominating Presence. This model counts as 10 plus the number, or plus the round number for purposes of capturing objectives. I like that round objective thing. Add addition person.
Yeah.
God Beast Hide Armor. All incoming damage is reduced to 1. Say a little Gotrek.
Little Gotrek. You've made a little Gotrek in our game.
Punish Failure. I love this one too. It's clunky. It's clunky as all get out, but I love it. When an enemy unit fails, when an enemy unit attacks this model within 3 inches, after the attack has been resolved, roll 1 die for every failed hit roll. Every 4 plus, the unit receives a mortal wound.
Yeah, there's a chance that somebody goes in at you with the wrong unit and just gets ripped. So,
I love it. I love it.
And remember, your opponent can't choose not to attack you if you're too close. So,
yep. So you pair this with Pain is optional.
Ooh, that could be fun. Yeah,
I'm
going to go last. Don't worry. You're going to swing before me.
Throw them into a horde of plague monks. Who gives a shit? So we'll kind of speed up a little bit here after this. But so for Archer, you can see 1 less wound, 1 more movement, 1 less save. Got that Bravery 9, ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
They only have 1 option for weapons. That's a hand weapon, which I think I'll keep a hand weapon.
I'm okay with hand.
I'm all right with a hand weapon. And then, of course, their main focus is obviously going to be their ranged.
Yes.
So now, as far as that goes, this is a lot of what you'll expect. Here's well-trained ranger at the very bottom. You can replace your hand weapon with paired weapons.
There you go.
Want to go a little dritzy? There's a little dritzy for you.
There you are.
Shot of the run and shoot. Can't go wrong there.
Yep.
Here's probably one of the ones that I would not make an archer without going Leaf on the Wind.
Okay.
Which, of course, is a Firefly reference.
Okay. Haven't seen Firefly, so it's okay. I know. A lot of people just turned off this podcast because they heard that.
Sorry, folks, I can't control them. It's just...
Yep.
So you can retreat and still shoot.
Seems cool.
Love it. Let's see here. What else we got? Took the bait. If an enemy ends its charge within 3 inches of this unit, roll a die on a 4+. It cannot pile in.
Interesting idea. Very interesting.
And then let's see here. So we have interruption. When an enemy attempts to cast a spell within range of your ranged weapon, you may take a single attack using your normal ranged attack profile. If you successfully rolled a hit and a wound, the spell fails and is considered a miscast. The wizard follows the rules for miscast as normal. This may only be attempted once per hero phase.
It's an interesting idea. I really like it. I like it's not doing damage; it just stops someone from casting a spell.
So it's technically doing damage because you are miscasting.
Okay, fair enough.
So, hey, Techless, pow!
Yeah, it's a fun idea. Cool little tier 3 ability.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is like the tier 3 should make you go, ooh, oh, I don't know about that.
yeah. I don't know if we should allow that.
If delayed poison. If you wound a model in the shooting phase with a wound characteristic of 5 or less, but do not slay it, the model is slain at the end of the shooting phase.
Oh boy, yeah. Yep, we're killing things, that's for certain.
Moving on to the wizard. 6 wounds, good luck, 5 up save, 5 movement. Once again, got that 9 bravery.
Got that 9 bravery.
Hand weapon and magic blast. So they're able to cast 1 spell. Now, I did recently update him, so I don't know if you're looking at the most up-to-date version of this.
I am not.
So, I previously in the tier abilities, I had the thing to increase how many spells you can cast and all that other stuff. I just baked it into the wizard rules here.
Okay.
And all I did was, once you have filled 3 tier ability slots, you can learn a second spell and can either attempt to cast an additional spell or gain a second attempt to unbind a spell. So you can either unbind 2 or cast 2, not both. And then after you fill 5 tier ability slots, you learn an additional. So basically, when you're level 12, you have all 5. That's right before you learn.
You'll have 5 of 6. Yeah.
You'll have 3 spells.
Be very interesting.
Yes. And then, of course, it's basically a lot of the things that you would expect. Here's a good example here. Breaking glass ceilings. This allows you to choose a class that is restricted by your race. This is not a...
This is not a thing anymore, is it?
This is...
Or should this be a universal?
I think this is universal.
Okay.
Watching it. We're doing it live. See, again, this is why I sent it over to like 4 different people.
And they all said, yep, looks good.
Yep, looks good. It's good, boss.
I was not one of those people, so it's okay.
There we go. So, easy fix, though. As you can see, there's also universals.
Yeah.
Okay, do I need to come up with a new...
1, 2... No, you still have 5 there.
Yeah, I just put it in the wrong place. Okay, so... Arcane Puppeteer, once per round. This unit may roll a die when another player successfully casts an endless spell. If the result, plus any bonuses to casting, is greater than what the player rolled to cast the endless spell, that endless spell is treated as if you cast it instead.
Cool. I think we just got to start ripping through like all the tier 3s for everyone, because that's where you got to be like...
All right, we'll just go...
Yeah, let's just... I think everyone enjoys just being like, so how broken at the end of this campaign are we actually getting that?
Sure.
That's the big question on everyone's mind.
All right, well, let's go. Since we only have 1 more for the archer, we'll do that. Obfuscate step. In the movement phase, instead of moving, you can pick this unit up and place it anywhere in the battlefield outside of 7 of enemy units. This unit also receives +2 from cover bonuses.
So what you're saying is, I'm going to show up anywhere on this table, shoot you, you're probably not going to hurt me on the shots back.
Right. I feel a little bad because this one isn't super flashy, but like, what are you going to do against it? Like,
exactly. Whenever your opponent leaves that objective marker, you're going to say, "Cool, it's mine."
Yeah, it's mine now. Guess what?
It's mine now, and I'm gone.
Or
did you turn that unit around to deal with me?
Someone finally gets into you. Somehow you make a misstep. Hey, instead of moving, just get out of it.
I'm just going to leave.
I'm just going to leave. And, yeah. So, for Wizard, Arcane Blood. No surprise here. This unit knows all spells from your army's spell lore.
Cool.
Legendary
Nothing
focus.
wrong with having that.
Also, unfortunately, the Wizard is pretty... The Wizard stuff is just through its spells and through everything else. Like, Arcane Barrage, this unit may cast Arcane Bolt even if it's already been cast in your hero phase.
Okay.
But this unit may automatically cast one spell in your hero phase with a cast roll of 13.
Sweet. Help Teclis eat your heart out. Anyway.
Right. Master of Mimicry. If this unit successfully unbinds a spell, this model can declare the spell has been stolen. The unit steals a spell. It adds it to its list of spells. It adds it to its list of known spells for the rest of the game. The unit that attempted to cast the spell can no longer cast the spell for the rest of the game.
Oof. Scary. Freaking terrifying.
And you just choose it. I did mean to put that as once per game. I'll make sure that gets...
Okay. Yeah.
Priest, you can either go hand weapon and shield or side weapon and hand crossbow. And, of course, prayers. There's prayer. These prayers are pretty strong.
Good.
Chuck might be looking at these and drool a little bit. Here's what I'll say is, if Chuck reads priest, he will probably make a priest.
So if he reads the pack is what you're saying.
Yes.
And as a TO for GW, he should know something about reading the pack is what I'm saying.
Yep. Yeah, hell, I even added Veteran Crusader, where you can dispel other prayers.
Ooh, that's cool. That's very cool.
All right, so Holy Presence. This unit may attempt to unbind any number of spells without any bonuses or rerolls. If you already have bonuses to unbind attempts, they are only applied to the number of unbind attempts that you would have without this ability. So if you have 2 unbinds with +2, you can do that, and then anything beyond that, you're just raw dogging it.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm okay with that.
Raw dog your unbind.
Yes. Just too nice. Straight up, kids.
Right Hand of the Gods. This unit automatically passes all chant rolls.
Well, you're no longer upset about rolling those ones and the gods being unhappy and hurting you.
How much would you like that in the game?
Yeah, I just passed, please. Thank you.
Judgment. Judgment is a prayer that has an answer value of 5 and a range of 12 inches. If answered, all friendly units wholly within the range re-roll failed saves, and all enemy units within range re-roll all successful saves.
I do see that you don't have holy on that ability.
Yep.
Just saying for anyone who's thinking about that and goes, sounds okay. Answer value of 5 might scare people, but
Yep.
I see we have some bonuses to build into the lower tiers, so it's doable.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. Seems cool.
Not going to be... Yep. So here we have Cavalry. Cavalry has an 8-inch move, 4-up save, hand weapon and shield and hooves. Oh, that's been updated, by the way. That's I gave it polearm because I realized they don't have lances.
Okay.
Side weapon and hand crossbow, or great weapon and hooves.
Cool.
I also did some play testing. I was like, hand weapon is so weak.
Right.
With that, so I was like, yeah, polearm.
Yeah, giving the extra reach isn't going to hurt.
Right. That was kind of the whole thing as well. It's kind of pointed in there. So this is... I've essentially, taken every little bit, everything you've ever seen from a ranged unit or a cavalry. If it fails a charge roll, you may re-roll a die, or you may roll a die and move that many inches, so you're still getting some
Still
movement.
moving.
Yeah. Enchanted horseshoes. Change horseshoes to wound profile of a 3+.
There we go.
All right, so here's the big ones here. Rider of Myth and Ruin. This unit may be replaced with a model. Oops, I said with a model twice.
With the model, yep, you do.
With a model with a base size of up to 160 millimeters. This unit gains 2 additional wounds, add 4 inches of the movement, and a ward of 5 up, and gains the monster keyword. It can also fly.
Holy crap. You get it all.
Now, so it's interesting. So, like, you can either go, because there's only 2 for these guys, but the second one has some choices, which I also updated. I must be looking at outdated. This has to be all updated somewhere. I'm going to check online before I post the link, but this was 2 because of how much the first one gives you.
That's fair.
So, Legendary Mount. So, this is where you call in Shadowfax.
There we go.
So you can choose 2 of the following things: breath attack in the shooting phase. Pick a point of the battlefield within 18 inches. Roll a die for each enemy unit within 3 inches. On a 1 to 2, nothing happens. 3 to 5, the unit receives D3. On a 6, receives 3 mortal wounds. So that's essentially a Dracolith.
Yeah.
Lethal Blood. We have our Magmadroth. Every time this unit takes damage, pick 1 enemy unit within 3 inches and roll a die. On a 2+, it receives D3 mortal wounds. You do not want to be... Now, as you see, every time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's scary.
Tail Lash. You gain access to the following weapon profile where the attack characteristic is equal to the number of enemy models within 3 inches. So you get a nice little 3-inch, 3s, Ren 2, Ren 1 damage.
They're Ren 2 to deal with, like, different... I don't know. Hordes is cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Then for our strategist, so that's where you have your hand weapon and hand crossbow, polearm and shield. Their innate ability is Beacon of Hope. All friendly units within 18 inches use this bravery instead of their own. And you'll see I've bumped his to bravery 11.
It goes to 11, ladies and gentlemen.
How do you not, right?
Yeah, I like it. It'll be very interesting to see if anyone... I don't know if I heard of anyone taking strategist yet. Do you know anyone?
They should. I haven't, but...
Yeah.
I mean, extra command point, counter charge. If someone attempts to charge, you attempt to charge first.
Cool. Why not?
Anytime this unit issues...
bonuses, right?
Anytime this unit issues a universal command ability, this unit can also benefit from... this issue. So basically, if it says, like, all-out attack, it also gets all-out attack.
Yeah.
Roll to see if you don't use command points. The heroic actions, heroic leadership, and heroic recovery are always successful for all friendly heroes.
Nice.
So now not only are you affecting your units, you're also affecting your heroes.
Very cool.
So for their level 3, let's see if I can't remember what these are. It's been so long.
It's okay.
Oh, I love this one. So this one's from Sordid Confidant.
Oh, okay.
Interrupt communications. If an enemy unit issues or receives a command within 18 inches from this unit, the opponent rolls a die. On a 5+, the command goes off like normal. Otherwise, the command ability does not work and the command point is lost. If the command was issued by a hero, the opponent gets a +1 to the roll.
Okay, so 50-50 chance that the command point even works.
Right.
Ugh. Big.
Stand the Fallen, which, by the way, is a 4th edition Warlord encounter powder. I believe it's like level 12.
Okay.
This unit may issue the rally command ability to a unit even if they are within 3 inches of an enemy unit. If the unit is not within 3 inches of an enemy unit, models are brought back on a natural roll of 4 up.
I like that. That's really cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. Strong, but not like, dear God.
No.
Tithe and Tribute. At the start of the round, roll a die for each opponent. If you roll under the current round number, they lose 1 command point and you gain 1 command point.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So it just gets better with time.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good.
And then the universal abilities like the breaking the glass ceiling that's always been here.
Yeah.
You can use both of your tier 1 abilities, so you can be like, I want to be a skink warrior.
Right.
Now you can do it. So
Cool.
divine protection. So these are instead of your other things. So you give yourself a 6-up ward. You want to mount, but you didn't want cavalier. Choose equestrian. You want to be a Nurgle, a Blight King in a Stormcast army. Well, I guess you can't do that because it's supposed to be same Grand Alliance. But if you want to be a dwarf in a Daughters of Cain, Foreign Exchange. Martial training, give yourself a weapon you didn't have a choice of, give yourself a shield. Mighty Grip, so now you can replace your hand weapon with Greatsword, and you may use Greatsword with a shield.
Cool.
Legendary Armor, gain +1 save. And then the tier 3 stuff is, I'm trying to do my best to balance between Dear God and but my stuff.
Right. No, I get it. I get it. That's a hard one because you want the stuff that you chose your hero to be the more cool thing most of the time.
But at the same time, like basically, I want to. If someone takes it, it's cool. But if everyone takes it, it's bad.
Right. Yeah.
So we have Blessing of Cain. This unit can only receive 3 damage per turn. So it might be good for the warrior, but I doubt the wizard's going to take away one of their casting abilities for.
Right. Okay.
And so I also did one of each Grand Alliances here. So we have I guess one of each of the important people. So we have Blessing of Cain, Blessing of Nagash, ignore all positive and negative modifiers to its save. Blessing of Sigmar, this unit ignores killed results on injury tables, so you're getting reforged. Blessing of Gork or Mork, anytime this unit rolls less than 9 on a charge roll, it is treated as a 9 instead.
Nice. That's very cool.
Blessing of Chaos. If this unit is slain, roll a dice at the start of your hero phase. If the result is a 5+, this unit put this unit on the table anywhere outside of 9. This unit gains the demon keyword if it didn't already have it.
That's cool. Yeah. Chaos gods are like, nah, we're not done with you. Go continue to play the great game, please. Thank you.
And then lastly here we have the races.
Yeah.
And again, this is not quite as long here. So you can see how it's broken out here. So you have your race, reforged, armies, any order except Daughters of Cain. Restrictions, meaning what classes can it be or can it not be. There's none for that. Modifiers, they get +1 to wound, +1 to save, but -1 to movement. So, woof.
Yeah.
You can have a really friggin' tanky Stormcast warrior if you really wanted to.
You could, yeah. Yeah. You're only going to move, 4 inches?
Right.
But, it's a paladin. It's all right.
Exactly. So then, of course, I had to figure out keywords. Keywords were probably the hardest, and I feel like I'm still missing something. So you get Stormcast Eternals, and then you have to choose between Lord or Knight. I don't know why you would choose Knight, but you can.
Right. If there's something that you're not aware of, at least there's an option.
Right. So then, for their abilities, Heroes Reborn. After this hero dies for the first time in a match, roll a dice at the start of your hero phase. If the result is below the current round number, put the hero back on the table outside 9 inches from enemy units.
Pretty cool.
So coming right back.
Yeah.
For humans, humans were probably the hardest, man.
I can see that. Especially in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, trying to tell you that, well, they're supposed to be a jack of all trades,
right. So I kind of based all their stats off of, all the stats off of what a human would be. Mm-hmm. So their modifier is only +1 to bravery.
Cool.
Good enough.
Bravery
Keywords.
10.
Human.
Yeah.
And then you have the Will of Mankind. You may select an additional tier 1 ability.
Okay.
So
that can be very cool.
Right. Yeah. So very, very, again, 3rd edition Dungeons & Dragons, where You go human, you get a feat. Like,
Right. Yep.
For the Dwarden, this is the first example I have of some
restriction.
Well, yeah, we have a couple first things here. So we have the City of Sigmar, Caradron Overlords, Fire Slayers, Idiot. That's it. Restriction, Wizard. No wizards. So if you wanted to break your glass ceiling, burn 2 points so you can be a
There you go.
dwarf wizard.
Be a wizard. Yeah.
Might have some issues with that, but hey, that's +1 wounds, -1 to movement. No surprise there. Keyword Dwarden. Ability Dwarden Craftsmanship. Increase the rend of one of your weapon profiles by 1. Now, this is a special choice here. Aether Engine.
Okay.
This ability is restricted to Cities of Sigmar and Caradron Overlords. This unit can fly. This counts as a Tier 1 ability. So if you want to use that ability, you have to have Tier 1, and it basically turns you into a Engine Ringer.
It's a cool idea, yeah. Very cool.
And you'll see that a lot. So you have elves, which are Cities of Sigmar, Daughters of Cain, Iden of Deacon, Lilith Realm Lords, and Sylvadeath. +1 movement, -1 to wounds because you're little sick fraily boys.
I'll take it.
And for your unparalleled celerity, +1 to attack of 1 weapon profile.
Cool.
And then here's your choices. Canary, you can upgrade your hero to a Canary. And then you get -1 to wound, +2 to movement. And the Canary keyword, Daughters of Cain only, you can't be cavalry, and you can fly.
I was going to say, these are all Daughters of Cain one, right?
Right. So we got Melusai. Well, except for Kurnathi Fawn.
Oh, I see that. Yep.
Kurnathi Fawn, you can upgrade, and then you basically become a spellcaster as
Cool.
well. And if you choose cavalry, you can upgrade your hero to a Kurnathi Centaur.
There we are. I like it.
So you don't need to be.
Centaur.
You don't need to mount. So you have skinks. So you have no restrictions. Oh, you can't. I thought I had one in there. I did not. Oh well.
Yeah.
+2 move, -1, -1 wound, -1 to save.
Boy.
Impossible to corner. After you attack, you may roll a die and move that many inches.
It'll be very
How much of
interesting.
a little shit. You have this
Yep.
warrior skink running around with like 6 wounds or 7 wounds.
Pokes you, runs away. You can't fight him. I love it.
Now, Slan. Upgrade to a Slan. Replace the skink keyword with a Slan keyword and lose the access to the Impossible Corner ability and gain the Wizard keyword. Can cast 2 spells instead of 1. Restriction, Wizard only. This ability must be chosen during character creation, counts as 2 tier abilities instead of 1. Or 2 tier 1 abilities. So now all of a sudden you could be a wizard who's now casting 3 spells.
That starts with 2 spells. Yep.
So just being a Seraph or a Slan, you get 2 spells. If you go Wizard, you gain the ability to cast another spell, so now you have 3 spells.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Now you have no tier 1 abilities.
True. But it could just be fun.
Yes. So same thing with Sarge. Can't be Wizard, can't be Priest, and I basically gave them the jaw ability.
Nice.
You can upgrade to a Croxagore to get +1 to wound and +1 to damage. And as you can see in here, specifically I did not say you lose the elite Saurus Char's ability or Jaws ability like I did above with the Slan.
Makes sense. You still have the jaws.
Right.
Yeah.
So Revenant, so you basically can choose if you're going to be what kind of spirit thing you want to be.
Yeah.
Kurnoth, so this is if you want to be a Kurnoth Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
This is unique, I believe. So you have Tree Lord, where you can upgrade to a Tree Lord. You get +1 wound, +1 damage to a single weapon profile. Restriction, Wizard. You can't be Wizard or Cavalry.
Okay.
There's a reason for that. This counts as 2 tier 1 abilities. The Tree Lord has access to the tier 3 ability, Tree Lord Ancient. +1 to save, gain a ward of 5+, and gains access to Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield. Can attempt to cast 1 spell in your hero phase, and can attempt to unbind 1 spell. Replace keyword Tree Lord with Tree Lord Ancient. So you can't become a wizard because then you innately become a wizard.
Cool.
Yeah. Branch Witch, basically what you'd expect, +1 to all casting and unbinding.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right, for Chaos, if you go Beast Lord, it's everything you would expect there. You can... So under Beast Lord is where the Doom Bull upgrade is. Or if so, that's one tier ability, or you can go Dragon Ogre and get 2 abilities to count as 2 abilities instead of 1.
Okay.
Thing is a monster, though.
Well, as you would expect.
Yes. Zangor, of course, is Beast of Chaos, or Tzeentch.
Yeah.
That was not... I'll need to go back and fix that. So, Disc of Tzeentch, that's supposed to be a upgrade.
An upgrade, yep.
And then, of course, we have Chaos Humans here. And then you have this whole thing here of what you're going to be. So, if you want to go to Blight King, that takes 1 tier 1 ability, and you gain +2 wounds, -1 movement. And of course, you have to gain the Blight King and Nurgle keyword, otherwise you would not survive in that army.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Demons were probably the most in-depth.
I see
because of how much. So, like, restrictions. For Slave to Darkness, Nurgle, and Slaanesh, you can't be a priest. If you're Khorne, you can't be a priest or a wizard. If you're Tzeentch, you can only be a wizard.
Okay.
So,
well, okay. I'm only going to advocate for Khorne here is that the army does have a lot of priests.
But no demon priests.
No, we do. We do now.
Who? Oh, only if you take the thing. Too bad. Get out of here.
What? Yeah, that's fair.
So then I had to come up with abilities for each one of these things that you went into. So Slaves of Darkness, you can move over abilities as if you can fly, and you get to choose which keyword you want. If you're Khorne, you 3d6 for charging. Nurgle, you heal d3 wounds in your hero phase. Slaanesh, all depravity gained within 6 inches are doubled. And then Tzeentch, you get an arcane familiar and he helps you out.
Cool.
And you also gain access to
Dark Ascension.
Right. So you can go into a Demon Prince if you want for your tier 3 ability.
That'd be fun.
Right? And then, of course, I have to point out the Duarden, the Dawizar, the Chaos Dwarf. So they have Duarden Craftsmanship, just like their Order counterparts, where they increase the rend of one of your weapon profiles by 1. Now they have Demon Smith. So they have restrictions. So whereas regular Duarden have a restriction against wizards, they have restrictions against priests. If you do go wizard, you can become a Demon Smith, and then once per battle, when this hero attempts to cast a spell, you can say it is calling upon its Demon Smith training and roll 3d6 instead of 2d6 when making the casting roll. However, if you roll triples, you take d3 mortal wounds and reduce your movement by 1 for the rest of the battle. If you roll 3 ones, you immediately turn to stone and remove from the battle. Counts as a tier 1 ability.
I like that. I like that.
For those not in the know, whenever dwarves cast spells, they slowly turn to stone. And so this is representing that on the battlefield.
Cool.
And again, here's the one that I'm choosing here. Vampire, Soul Blight, instead of Flesh Eater Court. Can't be priest, +2 movement, +1 save. Keyword vampire.
There's no minuses here, everyone, because it's the one Matt's taking. I'm just messing with everyone.
So they have Endless Hunger, which is basically the same Endless Hunger.
Yeah, you would come to expect. Yeah.
And then, of course, the only asterisk I have in here is if the hero is part of a Flesh Eater Court army, it may choose the race and keyword Mordant instead of Vampire. Because I noticed that.
Yep.
Malignant, Night Haunt. All enemies within 12 inches have -2 bravery. If the enemy fails a battle shock test, an additional D3 models flee, +2 movement.
Okay.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Skeletons. Skeletons actually aren't too bad. +1 save, -1 wound. You get to choose between Death Rattle, Liege, or Mortison. If this unit has been slain, roll a die in the hero phase on a 4+, place it back in the table outside of 9 inches and wholly within 9 inches of your grave sites or bone tithe nexus.
Yeah.
Add 1 to this
sense.
roll every time you fail.
Okay.
You can upgrade to a Hectos, and you receive +1 movement and +2 wounds. You can add for 2 abilities, become a Morghast.
Yeah.
+3 movement, +2 wounds, and you can fly.
There we go. Come the big guy.
Yeah. For Grots, no real restrictions. +1 movement, -1 wound, -1 save, -2 bravery.
Boy.
And then, of course, their ability is lowering, not running. Once per movement phase, this model may issue redeploy to itself without using a command point. Additionally, you may roll 2d6 and keep the higher result. This model can only receive the redeploy command ability once per movement phase, and you may still use the redeploy command for your other units. So
that's fun.
Get it for free.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a lot of movement. I don't know what I was thinking on that one.
You were having fun with it. Look at all those minuses you gave it. It's fine.
Yeah, like I said, exactly. It's Orcs, basically almost what you would expect. Endless Wa, once per battle. Shooter can call a Wa in addition to any other Wa your army has access to. So they actually have 2 abilities. So basically, each one of the armies has their own Wa, so he can call it as well.
Right.
And then they also have tapped into the Wa force. In every hero phase, gain D3 Wa points.
There we go.
Ogre, Mound of Muscle and Fat. You may replace the hand weapon profile with Great Weapon or Polearm. This unit is -1 to melee, or -1 to wound and melee.
Cool.
+2 wounds. Guy's just gonna bounce.
Right. Bounce and start swinging around. Great weapon.
Troggoth to no real surprise. It's just heal in the hero phase.
Yeah.
I might even change that to just the hero phase.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Yeah.
So we must make like a Troggoth warrior and just it never dies. That'd be fun.
Yeah. So again, like I said, I'm going to make sure that the online version is cleaned up, and if not, I'll clean it up before I put it out there. But yeah, like I said, if you think this is interesting or you want to try it out, like I said, feel free to download it. I'm not going to move it. I'm not going to take it off or anything. So I hope you found that somewhat interesting. I hope you found some insight interesting. Yeah,
it's fun. It's going to be great. I look forward to it. I am currently working on my own cavalry unit, so we're getting there. We're getting there. I am unfortunately still waiting for one of the pieces for the model I'm going to make for it to arrive. Otherwise, I would have it done by now for the end of the month.
Oh yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like I said, with those, the last thing I need is those Black Knights, and I have done. I basically have checked just every time. Just, is it up yet? Is it up yet? Is it up? Nope.
Of course not.
So let me see.
Now we're checking one more time live in the air. Don't worry about it, everybody.
Let me see if I can get. Nope. Let me see if I can get this image up here. I just want to show you what my guy looks like here. So,
yeah.
Whoa. Sorry, guys, doing it live.
Jeez.
I know you come to this show for professionalism.
If that's what they're here for, well, I worry for our audience.
So here's my Vampire Cavalier. So polearm, range 3, attacks 2, 4 to hit, 3 to wound, no rend, 1 damage. Hooves, I took Enchanted Horseshoes, so he is 4s, 3s, no rend, 1 damage as opposed to 4s and 4s. So 4 attacks, 4s, 3s, no rend, 1 damage. He should do 1 damage every other game. So that's
yeah, sounds about right.
But he also has a shield, so he's a 3 up because he's a vampire, and then he's -1 rend. And
Cool.
yeah. So excited
That'll be fun.
Excited to see how it works. More excited for him to get upgraded onto his new mount.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. That level 12, it won't come soon enough.
No. No, I apologize. What did you say you're going with right now? You're going Cavalier as well, I think?
Yep, I'm going Cavalier as well. Yeah. So I have a plan to have my man riding a crab into battle. So it'll be fun.
Can't wait to see it. But so like I said, I hope we inspired you to do a little narrative.
Yeah.
Again,
If you create something, show Matt in the comments. Do something.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the comments, hold on.
Uh-oh.
We have one last thing we need to do here.
Now I'm worried.
Hold on. If they've waited this long, they can wait just
a little bit longer, everybody. Yeah, but no, I'm looking forward to doing a cavalry unit. I almost went for either an archer and tried to build myself a fun archer that was just trying to shoot as many times as possible throughout the course of our games. And then I kept looking at strategists sitting there going, Bravery 11 everywhere would just be fun. And interrupting communications, the one where they have to roll a 5 up or it doesn't even work. Oh, I was here for it, everybody. Let me tell you. Okay. And that's just because I'm a mean-spirited person.
Here we go. So, our good friend and friend of the show and fellow Dwarden player Chris has commented a lot on the last episode. So I want to encourage people to comment. So we're going to read out these comments here based off of last month's episode about the Stormcast speculation. So I apologize if these are not in order, Chris. I'm just going to read them out and give you a little more in depth here. Says, when you guys are talking about making battle tactics a scenario-based thing, it reminds me a lot of the first edition missions where they often had a way to get points based on heroes, wizards, priests, etc., doing something on the battlefield. So I definitely like that idea more than battle tactics and grand strats. I love all those old scenarios, which, I mean, he got it. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
Neil actually talked about this the week before I hosted Strength Hammer, where he talked about him and Carl playing some of the a game out of the, like, I forget what that old book was called, the Mighty Battles of the Mortal Realms or whatever.
Yeah, I forget what it was now, but yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, hell, even if they wanted to try and redefine one of the other play styles and start doing that with some battle plans, it's just the way to go. All right. I remember the campaign section you're talking about, Matt. I think it was one of the first edition books because I ran an event that did that. Only 8 people, but each person left with a different story. It was a great time.
Which first edition book? What were we talking about? I just looked. This was actually 2 months ago now. We're terrible at these.
So,
we owe him an apology is what we need.
Yeah, I remember about the campaign section, but yeah, like I said, in general, this here is the reason why you do a narrative event, because
people have a bunch of stories to tell.
Right, like that's one of the things is if you can get the people to actually get in the spirit of the game, win or lose, it doesn't matter.
I think if people talk about that game after they leave the game,
yes, you've won.
you've done it.
And you did it right.
That's the big thing.
So here's why. One of the reasons why I said it, I'm pretty sure I'm reading in that order here. Last one, I promise. Dude, you keep on commenting. You just keep going. I love the deep dive episodes you do. Thank you. Helps me. Helps keep me interested in this edition, where I'm not super big on a lot of the rules, and some other factors are making it tough to stay interested or stay invested. Also, Matt, I didn't know you were a Stormcast, or you were in Stormcast. Love to pick your brain as as I finally grabbed a lot. Don't know if you're on Discord or something, though. I am on Discord, but I don't really use Discord, so it's probably not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is just going to you can honestly just see me in person, or message here. You can tweet or Instagram message strengthhammer_. I guess now it's strengthhammer_ on X and strength_hammer on Instagram, I believe. Additionally,
tell Chuck
Chris,
you need Matt's info. There you go.
Chris, you and I are Facebook friends. You're always happy to message me. But yes, I played Stormcast whenever 3rd edition started. The issue was
deep.
I absolutely loved it, but I only loved the build that I was running, and I refused to go. I refused to go too deep down the broke stuff. So I had 2 units of I can't remember the one with the spears, the normal guys, the new battle line that came out. So I had 2 units of 10 of those. I even brought I brought a chariot. I brought 1 unit of the ones that are a pain in the butt on the Dracolith, the Fulminators.
Oh yes, Fulminators.
And I just brought a duo of them.
Yeah, not the full 4 like people were doing.
Right. I brought a unit of 6 of the long strikes. And that was all for the dirtiness. But like, whenever my biggest issue was they got to the point where if you want to win, you basically have to bring dragons and fulminators and bring as many as you can, especially after they kind of did dirty the
shooting.
So I'd be happy to talk about it, but it's they are a model, or they are an army that interests me, but it is unfortunately an army that will never be my go-to because it's not how they do things.
Understandable.
I am not a good enough player to make a bad army good. Okay. For my favorite models, the old school is the Deaf Dread, which I absolutely remember. Good choice. Yeah. I started in 5th, and that model was just so cool. My favorite new model is probably the Rune Sun on Magmadroth. I really enjoyed painting those Magmadroths. Really, the Rune Sun. So here was my issue with the Rune Sun. I actually had to modify mine because I wasn't. So if you go, this is for you, Cole. If you go on to the Warhammer.com now website and look up the Rune Sun, the axe that does, I think it's 2 or 3 damage, is literally the size of everyone else's throwing axe.
Oh no.
So I kept a couple of the bigger axes from the Volkite Berserkers and gave him one of those, and it looks a lot better. But yeah, I also like the Magmadroths. I just wish they were as good as they were last GHB.
Wait, which one is it? Is it the Rune Sun?
Rune Sun on Magmadroth.
I thought it looks like he's got a spear.
Well, so there is a spear,
he does
but there's
have an axe version. I see it now.
Well. It's just this wee little boy.
Yeah, it could use a little extra. I agree.
Yeah, and as for Stormcast, I'm definitely on the unpopular side. I really like the Warrior Chamber models. I think the Vanguard and Thunderstrike are also cool, but hate the Sacrosanct ones. I didn't like them at all. Well, I mean,
that's one nice thing is that there's different flavors for them all.
Yes.
I only really own a sacrosanct chamber, so you're not going to upset me at all by saying that. Like, I bought into them hard for a little while there. So,
well, for me, I actually have, I have a fully painted sacrosanct and a fully painted Thunderstrike army. I have the models for both Vanguard and Warrior Chamber, but I don't have them painted up just because the Vanguard I started to paint up because I really like the idea of them, even though those the chunky Warrior Chamber armor doesn't necessarily look as good as a ranged, like as a ranger type.
Okay.
Basically the Vanguard Hunter units.
Yeah.
I love the idea of them more than I like the model of them. As far as the I think I would like the Sacrosanct models better if they were priests instead of wizards, but I've said that a million times.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
I'm, you know, and it's also, I think it's awesome that you love Warrior Chamber because, you know, we need people to keep, you know, that old stuff.
Keep those, and honestly, just the idea that you could run a fun paladin army, it's still cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of rules to support that too.
Yeah.
So sorry that you hate Sacrosanct. I do love cloaks, so I can't follow where you're going. Let's see here. Okay, now we got nestled comments here.
Uh-oh. What have you done?
Okay, the Votan Nox is great. Sagittars and Hearthguard are hot right now. The Beast Snagga box is also pretty good. Everything in it you'll probably want doubled up and is a good chunk of Beast Snagga Force. The big thing that can be a transport or a damage dealer thing, always need more boys and squig dudes, and the hero can be used to make the named and unnamed version. So, alright, so whatever I said that the Orc box was on.
Yeah, we didn't think the Orc box was the greatest because of the vehicle, but now that I realize you can make two versions of it.
Yeah, okay.
Sweet.
Move that on up. Move that on up. Oh, the Votan box is great. Okay, yeah. I can see that. I can definitely see that. All right, honestly, OBR being top surprised me. I don't know if Magmadroths are just decent into them or what, but of the two I faced in the last two events, I got beaten but close, and the other beat me, but I also had trouble rolling more than two, so anything would have.
Fair.
They still played a very tight game, about as many mistakes either side. I had one slightly bigger one, but I wouldn't have won me it. Stormcast being where they are surprised me. I don't remember the last time I saw them. Right.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. I don't know where they're... I mean, I guess the only place they're getting the numbers from is from their opens and, like, the big events. Just because... But yeah, I don't... There's not too many people that play Stormcast seriously. They're just not fun. Like... Sorry, I know you said you're starting an army here, but, like, as of right now, like, it's... If you... Because, again... as I've stated multiple times, and I'm sure you're tired of hearing it, but to me, I don't want to just bring an army that I put on the table. I don't care about what you put on the table, and I just win. Or I just stop you from doing so much stuff that you can't win because you can't do anything, which is kind of where you are with the Storm Guard and stuff like that. So... again, 4th edition. 4th edition's coming. I'm sure they'll get it right this time.
I think the start of 3rd, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, if they would have kept that power level of this, if they wouldn't have done the scale up damage or the scale up power from the beginning of 3rd to where we are now, they would still be in a good place. But unfortunately, they couldn't help themselves. As far as OBR, there is one specific build that no one in our area plays. I
think it's one where you're essentially recycling the skeletons pretty heavily.
Right.
And you're not minding that they're dying because I think they're doing mortals on death.
Right.
So,
yeah. And so, but with that, also on top of that, no one knows how to play against Fire Slayers because it's just you. I know. The month before you were like, no, there's always fire starter, but no. It's like whenever you buy a new car, and you're like, oh man, I see my car everywhere. No, it's just because you're playing that army.
Right.
Let's see here. Honestly, the current GHB hasn't felt bad with magma draw spam. Not worse than any other of the three. Anyways, Nullstone stuff is big though. Pop the pouch turn 1, make them not cast as much, and hit them hard turn 2. The Corn Book is surprisingly techy. Definitely good in the right hands though. Love the mortal models for sure. Goddamn, did those new models make me want Iron Jaws again?
Yeah.
Playing against the Trug herd made me want Trogs again, too. Chris, outside of Fire Slayers, I'm pretty sure you're a Destruction player.
That is exactly what we're reading.
I don't remember all three of the Nullstone things. Nobody does. But the carved icon for a Deny and the pouch of Nullstone Dust have been doing work for me. The dust has done some damage, but more importantly, made casting heavy armies decide it's not worth the risk, especially if they go second and already have 2 primal dice for denials. Nurgle's fun to play against right now. Played against 3 Guos. Magma Drop was basically a large skirmish game.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, as far as that goes, I played my first game with the dust. That's the one where you if they miscast, they miscast hard.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
But it absolutely worked the first time I did it, and I was like, I'm done. I'm never going to take it again because it's never going to work again.
Nice.
And then I just take the icon from here on out just because.
Right.
Yeah. I'm shocked that they don't have just a auto unbind once per game.
Yeah, I mean, it's already built into a Stormcast character. Just let everyone have it and call it their artifact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Definitely think the teaser was Ulgu elves. They love their elves. I'm so. There's 2 things that I'm sure of. Mm-hmm. We're getting Chaos Dwarves. We're getting Umberneth elves. We're getting Umberneth.
I'm with you on 50% of this.
What do you think we're not getting?
Chaos Dwarves.
We're never getting Chaos Dwarves.
I don't think it is currently in the lineup for the next 2 years.
Well, that's...
Because that's what their production cycle is, 2 years.
I'm not talking about that.
Thinking about it right now.
I would say in the next 2 editions.
2 editions. Give 4th and 5th edition, so 6 years.
Yeah. That's where I'm going.
I can't predict 6 years out. GW doesn't know what they're doing 3 years out.
They don't know what they're doing tomorrow.
That's true. That is very true. Someone's going to walk into a meeting tomorrow and go, I don't know why I'm here. That's okay.
So I think we're going to Ulgu.
Okay.
In 4th edition, which to me really screams Umberneth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is some Chaos Dwarf activity in Ulgu.
Okay.
But I have a hard time seeing them add 2 new armies in 1 edition.
If they do, it'll be very far apart. It'll be start of edition and end of edition.
Or at the same time. But there's no way they're going to have
That's not going to be a thing. No. Look at what all they're doing with the old world right now. That is all their modeling stuff right now.
Now, first off, that's a Forge World product, so they're not doing shit with it. Second off, if you look at the 3rd edition starter set, was all brand new. It was a whole army worth of Stormcast versus a whole army of Cruel Boys. So essentially, we already got 2 new armies right there. So it's not unheard of. However, we're probably going to get Tyrion with the same time we get Malarian.
Probably.
Now, again, as I've said, I assume it would be Tyrion, a cavalry unit, and a specialty unit, and then maybe elemental. It's like a phoenix,
and that'll be about it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and then so to me, that honestly, I think 5th edition is when we'll probably potentially see Chaos Dwarves just because they're going to want to add a new army. And it's either come up with Chaos Dwarves that people have been clamoring for since Fantasy.
Right. No, I know they have. And I know a lot of people were very upset whenever Chaos Dwarves kind of got thrown out of Sigmar.
Right. They are in a lot of battle tomes. So they're in the Fireslayer battle tome. They're in the KO battle tome. They are in the Cruel Boy, the Cruel Boy section of the Ironjaw, or the Orc battle tome. They're in the OBR battle tome.
I hear you, but my faith in G&W actually going and making something.
And when they released the Horns of Hashut, it said, where the Horns of Hashut go, the Chaos Dwarves are shortly to follow. So that's them telling you, hey, we're putting these guys out, but shortly to follow in 2 editions. It's going to be Chaos Dwarves.
Right, yes. See, what's going to happen is you're going to get a Warcry warband, and that'll be it. That's it. That's all.
I will fly to Warhammer, and I will get in that Rhino and drive right into the front door.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Starting a separate comment thing for the Stormcast thoughts, since I just bought in hard. Boy, sorry I don't censor myself more. Just picked up 7,500 points of mostly Warrior Chamber with some Extremis. Which, honestly, to me, Extremis is part of Warrior Chamber, except for Fulminators. The one thing Stormcast does well is make a cheap force. 2 Thunderstrike starter sets and a hero or 2 for about $350, and you have a usable force. Lots of cheap starter halves floating around too. I'm disappointed that the Army of Renown doesn't allow you to take Star Drakes, just the new dragons and not the old. Would have been nice to mix it up some, although I know most wouldn't anyways. Yeah, I think it's a little dumb.
Yeah, I would have definitely. I think that you would have actually had people take the old Drakes if it would have been an option.
Yeah, honestly, I think if you could take Star Drakes and the Draconith, I think you would actually see the Army of Renown. But as it is right now, it's like if you want to be competitive with it, you basically take the Relictor, a Knight Draconis, and then just fill in the ranks with the Storm Guard.
Right.
Technically swords, not lances, but I like lances, so just go lances anyways. Hot take on Ionis, the Relictor I was talking about. Unleash Hell with his breath attack. Just be behind your Liberators. No one has Liberators but you, Chris.
Hey, whatever your Liberator equivalent in your army that you definitely have.
Or whatever, and punish them for charging. Doesn't do a ton of damage right away, but if you hit 2 to 3 units in the first 2 to 3 turns, that's going to end up a lot of mortal wounds overall. Not bad, I think. I definitely want him just because he's back after he was a big deal in the Realm Gate Wars. I might just be used to Magmadroth prices, but he doesn't seem too bad to me. Yeah, so I think that's exactly the case, where if you take 3 Magmadroths, that's going to be half of your army, and then that's going to do half of an army's worth of work. Right. Whereas he might do enough for his points, but the rest of the army doesn't do enough for its points. So it's like you need to figure out, like, okay, if I'm going to take this unit of 5 Liberators that I think is 110 right now, or do they go down to 100? I think they're down to 100, but they're not worth 100. They're probably worth closer to 80. So you have to figure out a way to get them up to 110, which means you're going to have to take other heroes to buff them. So Ionis doesn't have necessarily a direct damage buff. They does have some buffing, obviously, but
right.
By taking him, you're taking away your access to other buff pieces, which is where, even though his points aren't too high, I think they're still a little high, but they're not outrageous. But the problem is it prevents you from other proper list building.
Right.
Does that sound about right?
It sounds about right. I'm interested in to see what people start doing with Ionis. I think we give it a few more months. Well, once we have them and all that, and people actually have time to paint them and everything.
I have my
I'd
belt.
like to see. Yeah, I'd like to actually see what some of those lists are doing, what they look like. I mean, I agree with him that if you want to, you can take Ionis, use Unleash Hell, because 6 inches is all you need to be within to use that. So he doesn't have to be stuck in combat, which is cool.
Yeah, honestly, and so just to kind of go over Liberators, I do think that they have a plan or a place, but I think that place is double reinforced next to a Castellan receiving the +1 buff, +1 save buff on top of an objective. So now in a Stormkeep army, so you're doing mortal wounds as long as you can keep them alive.
Okay. Make them a hard nut to crack, essentially.
Yes, just make it the most miserable experience you can for your opponent.
There you go.
And then also on top of that, do not sleep on what are they? Tempesters? Not Tempesters. Hold on.
I was gonna say you're gonna have to hit me with it because I don't know where we're going with this.
Stormcast, War Scrolls. Do not sleep on. Yes, Tempesters, the ones with the crossbows. So real quick here, 2 for 210, 10-inch move, 6 wounds, 3 up save, 7 bravery. They have their Storm Blast, so that's 1 per each, doing mortal wounds. Their Volley Storm crossbows, 12 inches, 3 attacks apiece, 3s, rend 1 damage. Their melee is not terrible, but it's not the greatest. But
right, you're not writing home about it.
So their Warblade, 3 attacks, 3s, 4s, rend 1 damage, claws and fangs, 3s attacks, 3s, rend 2 damage. Then the Storm Blast is 4 up to do D3. Volley Storm is every time you score a hit, period, you score 2 hits.
Right, and being 3s, you're going to score 2 regular hits, so 4 hits, 12 hits, go to wounds, 8 wounds at -1 damage.
From 12 inches away.
Yep.
Yeah, they're...
Not bad.
Yeah, they're good, especially for 210.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. We got to read more here. Okay.
We got lots of reading. Chris, you almost tried to show Matt how much he wrote for the...
for my heroes, yeah. All right,
yeah, for your heroes, yeah.
The biggest problem with making the different books. Okay, I like to hear some pushback on this because I'm pretty convinced. Is each book will need to use the different Stormhost rules as each Stormhost has been written to have each chamber. There are more books that are all super specialized because the chambers are all sorts of things to do. Warrior have priests but no wizards. Sacrosanct is the opposite. Extremis is only cav. Thunderstrike is fairly balanced. Vanguard is a little squishier but fast and teleports a lot. Second was definitely the best time for fire. Okay, all right. So we'll stop there because we're going to the second thing. All right. So here's the thing. I would.
Chris, thank you for agreeing with me. Anyway,
Chris, how dare you? You betrayed me. So here's what it boils down to: is a simple fact is. You would not be railroading the chambers into set, or you'd not be railroading the different hosts into chambers. It would just be, it would more along the lines be like poster boys, like how Hammers of Sigmar are the poster boys for Stormcast right now, even though you have a bunch of other choices. So if you wanted to have the Anvils of Sigmar be the front runners for Sacrosanct, they could be the other things, but that's who you would put on the cover to represent that this is a different chamber or a different a different organization. So, like I said, I mean, whether they would do each host would have universal rules or each rule would be special for each chamber, I would, if they put it in the same book, it would be each host would be the same. If they did each individual books, then it would be each host would be probably different, or it would be similar, or some would be same, others would be changed based on, because like, oh well, here's the one that gives bonuses to paladins, but there's no paladins in Vanguard
in this book. Yeah,
right. And then on top of that, like I said, as far as that goes, the Extremist Chamber would go under Warrior Brotherhood, because I don't know whether it's official or not, but basically when the Extremist Chamber came out, it was just the second half of the Warrior Chamber. Rebuttal?
Chris was right. I mean, less books is just better, to be fair.
You can put one damn book!
Nah, he was right. Anyway, that's
right.
all I needed. That's all we needed. Thank you. I needed that. Anyway.
Continuing on here.
Definitely the best time.
Let's see here. Second was definitely the best time for Fire Slayers. Absolutely. That's the only issue I have with splitting it all up. They do not have general units like Space Marines do. They definitely need to be tough again. I really miss First Edition Stormcast. Now you're bouncing back, man. Gotta kill me. First Edition Stormcast, where the block of 30 Liberators took effort to remove. They could hold only second to Fire Slayers, who were just unkillable, but they did some damage and had some movement. A lot of Warrior Chamber stuff has been kind of just outclassed, and a lot of the synergies they had have been kind of removed. Yeah, I agree. Now, I know a lot of people say, like, oh, they made the Warrior Chamber less good because they're trying to make money, which you listen to this show every week or every month. You know I don't believe that for 2 seconds, because they wouldn't even think that way. I think they just got so one of the issues that I had with First Edition Liberators with the Castellan is the buff was weird. It was a roll, I think a +1 to your save, and then if you would heal, or I forget exactly what it was. You literally had to roll every single die individually. Oh yeah, because you would heal if you rolled a 6. So you would save and then heal, but if something died and you healed, you couldn't bring a model back. You could just keep the model that was there. It was, yeah. So I understand them getting rid of that, and they just weren't even thinking about it because they were like, ooh, shiny. But yeah, Fire Slayers were awesome in second edition, and they just needed I don't even think they needed toning down. I just think a lot of people didn't use them, and so a lot of people didn't realize, oh, just shoot the hero and then they crumble. Like, it's always been that way.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think in 4th edition, I definitely like to have them make the chambers bigger emphasis. Maybe with battalions or something. I don't know, but would have Stormhost and Chamber matter. Maybe similar to how Gravefeared works. So now he's back on my team.
Well, yeah, he wants there to be separate chambers. He just wants them all to be one book.
I'm fine with it being one book. I just want it broken up. Like, I just want it like the Orc War Clans of how everyone wants dwarves in one book, but broken up.
There we go.
I'm just saying, if they wanted to do multiple books, I'm not going to bitch about it. Like Cole.
Right. I'm a bitch. I'll be right over here bitching as someone who had to do that for Space Marines.
You never stop complaining, man. Never stop.
Never.
I agree on no new units. I have seen some stuff hinting at updating the old Warrior Chamber stuff into new Thunderstrike armor, and I think that would be awesome. I personally love the old armor, but the Thunderstrike stuff is also cool. Updated Liberators, Paladins, Harbingers, and Justicars would cover all the original model release. New Cells and Prime would be sweet. I don't mind the current model, but it's never been fantastic in my opinion. And so, yeah, that's one of the things. It's like, if you just go Cells and Prime, oh my god, it's so awesome, and then you go Marathi snake or snake Marathi. You're like, oh, okay, well, it's
not that cool all of a sudden. But no, and yeah, I like the idea if we got some updated Liberators, Paladins, and all that, but you can still use the old ones.
Yeah,
heck yeah,
that's the thing. It's like if anyone ever gives you a hard time, if they do release everything in Thunderstrike and you still use your old stuff, and anyone gives you a hard time, you let me know. You and me will go and take them out back.
Agreed.
All right, I think the explosions make sense. One last gasp as they try and grab someone before lightning takes them. Well, so I think it's not necessarily them trying to grab someone. Well, I guess, okay, I see what you're saying. But yeah. I think it makes sense. They grab them, and when the lightning strikes them, well, so they turn into lightning, I thought. And they shoot
I thought it was if they pop out of their armor, essentially, and get...
Yeah,
so that is the newer
armor
basically... It's like purposely shooting them up through the sky.
Right. Old armor lets you just shoot up. The Thunderstrike armor basically is like a casing.
Right.
It's shotgun shell versus a 22.
We'll put some gunpowder under your butt. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you're coming home.
Yeah.
Very dwarfy solution. Let's just add gunpowder.
Right. But either way, if you see it as the lightning striking them to take them home, and that works for you, that's fine. I think the explosions are cool.
Like I said, for
that
me,
it gives a little bit of damage.
Let me see. You do see lightning bolts heading to a Azir in picture. Yes, you absolutely do. That is my opinion, though. The Vindicators feel good. I'll look it up in a minute. Vindicator. That's the guys with the spears.
All right. Yeah.
Vindictors. Opposed to them, the Liberators. I'd like to see beat the tougher guys that hold in comparison.
Right. So maybe some sort of a mortal wound save on them, whereas the Vindictors
honestly
do mortal wounds.
If they put Liberators in Thunderstrike armor, I would just say just merge them and you choose between spears or shields. Spears and swords.
That would probably be the correct way of doing it, yes.
I mean, that's the right way to do it. Like I said, as far as the explosion goes, like I said, it's fine. I don't mind the narrative of it. It's more along the lines that bothers me more on the table, because like I ran them wrong. I ran this rule wrong for quite a while.
Okay.
So I thought Thunderstrike was +1 to the roll. But no, it's +1 to the number of dice that you roll. And I'm like...
Right. It should be +1 to the roll. I agree with you.
Right. I'm like, it's so natural. Like, no one even questioned me.
Right. Yeah.
I'm talking like, I'm playing like people who I should have no right playing against. Who are just like, yeah, that makes sense. That's what... Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think my only problem is like, it does so little. And it
does do very little, but it is a time waster.
It wastes time.
On the table. Yeah.
Like I said, if it was something relevant, if it was 5-up, if it was, I don't know, if it was just roll a die and if you get a 6-up on death and do D3 mortal wounds or something, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like something that's a little more relevant than, yeah, okay. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I want reinforcements gone. Personally, I hate it and always have. The game incentivizes small units to start with, as you can block more, still do the same damage, take less, as overall overkill doesn't hurt you. Battle shock doesn't matter because you'll be dead already and you can cover more objectives. I liked second encouraging bigger units. You still saw MSU like in first and third, but you actually saw bigger blocks.
Okay, I think of the current state of the game, I could probably get with him that we don't quite need the reinforcement stuff. Perhaps a limit as to how many times you can add to something still, so that we don't have some elite unit that is huge.
Yeah, I honestly have no problem with doing so here's how I think. I think we should go back to how there was a points difference, but instead of going down, I think it should go up. On certain things.
That's a tough one. Yeah, at least maybe not up. It doesn't change on some. And then different ones where it makes more sense, maybe you could cut a little bit.
I don't like the cut down because the cut and then encourages. I think what the
So maybe we find our in between us and Chris here, whereas we just say, yeah, get rid of reinforcements, don't modify the points.
well, I don't know if he's talking about getting rid of reinforcements or getting rid of reinforcement limits because he's really.
I think that's what it is.
FCs.
It's the limit. I think because right now we can only reinforce 4 times,
right, and I agree on that.
I think he would like us to be as many times you feel like, whatever. Go for
it. I think there'd be no problem if we wanted to do. See, here's the problem: is zombies. That's what it boils down to: is zombies.
Because they're problem units is the issue.
Right.
Yes,
but I think if we're talking about the middle and the balanced war scrolls, I think if you just said battle line units can only be reinforced twice, non-battle line units you can reinforce up to 4. I think that solves a lot of problems because I don't think a lot of people are going to be reinforcing that much anyways.
Maybe. I think there could be a non-battle line unit that you get in trouble with allowing people to reinforce it that high, but it's interesting.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if non-battle...
4 total for non-battle
Right.
Okay.
You can...
Misunderstood you.
Yes.
I was thinking I could reinforce that unit 4 times individually. Okay, nope. Now I'm cool with you. I'm back on board. Back on board.
And honestly, I feel like you're not going to have that big of an issue if you do that, and then.
No, I don't see that being.
But I said I wouldn't mind seeing. I wouldn't mind seeing a GHB come out where it does do that. So it's like, yeah, obviously there's so many inherent net positives because again you have a force multiplier of that all-out defense, all-out attack,
right? Suddenly much more useful,
right? So if you do an all-out attack on a unit of Lumineth wardens, not wardens, not sentinels, the spearmen, whatever the hell they are, Lumineth spearmen. An all-out attack or all-out attack on a block of 15. Are they 10 or 5?
I think they come in 10s.
10. So a block of 30 plus 1 to attack on a block of 30 is much better than a block of 10. And then on top of that, with the way the game is right now, Battle Shock is so useless. Honestly,
it's a little issue. Yeah.
It's very. I don't remember the last time I had something run away personally.
If it did, it was very unlucky on my part that it happened. Yeah.
So, like I said, I wouldn't mind just seeing one GHB where they go like, hey, if you reinforce something, 10 extra points.
Yeah, be interesting to see what they do in
just to see how it works
because I don't know if they'll keep the current system or not.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, and then making a book to pass the whole edition would be very tough. Agreed. They tend to be very conservative to start, and then go crazier as it goes. Yes,
agreed. Yeah,
they are the outliers, but that's the usual pattern. And more than anything else, I think that's what hurts them. That they keep removing unique rules on War Scrolls or making the rules on them the same as other rules, so that contributes to the sameness. Examples, the entire Fireslayer book as well. Magnados lost almost everything that made them work different. Also, I don't like the instance in books for allies. Personally, get rid of it. Stop. No. I mean, here's the thing is, if you got rid of allies, the first thing that would happen is everyone would bitch and moan about allies coming back. I mean, they literally carved out, they actually had to release special books in fantasy because people wouldn't stop bitching about allies.
True.
And now here's the thing is, like, if someone has a reason for taking it, or if it's something that fits, like whenever like a popular 2nd edition Fireslayer list had you bringing a rune priest. I had no problem with that because it's still a Dwarden and it makes sense that he would be there. But like my issue is like whenever somebody like I think one of the things, like I don't think it was Idneth, but it was even KO, when someone would just bring a Knight Arcanum for the Dispel Scroll.
Oh yeah.
And like, there's no reason for you to bring it. There's no like, you're literally just spending those points. Just go. You can't cast that. Okay, you can die now. It doesn't matter.
Right.
That's where allies kind of annoy me. Wherever it's gamey, it annoys me.
Right. Yeah.
If it's something little, I don't care.
Yeah. That's more just on GW allowing certain units to have abilities like that, I guess.
Right.
But
no, as far as Chris's overall point about keeping a book relevant, there's essentially two ways to do it. One, you come up with the rails of your edition. And you go, okay, we're introducing rally. Nothing can rally better than a 5. And if you want to write a rule that lets something rally better than that, or makes rally stronger,
yeah,
you need to come to me, tell me what it is and why you want to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Because again, at the beginning, there was no intention of them increasing rally, and by the end, they're like, "Oh, don't forget to add the rally
on a 4-up." Yeah.
Don't forget to add the rally on a 4. Like,
yep.
And I don't think it is. Once again, I don't think it has anything to do with them trying to sell models. I think it is.
They were trying to do something different,
right?
To make it not the same as that last book they just did,
right?
But there's only so much they can do. They only have so much design space. So then they end up going, well, I know the rail was right there.
Right.
Well, I'd look at that thing over there.
Right. And again, like as I always say, this game exists between 1 and 6.
Yep.
There's not that much room that you have. So now, with that being said, because they're clearly not going to do that, because they didn't even do that with the indexes that they released for 9th edition or 10th, 9th edition, 9th edition, 10th edition. They didn't even balance the indexes for 10th edition. Yeah. So we know they're not going to do that. So what we essentially need is secondary releases.
Mm-hmm.
We need, whenever Stormcast come out, a year and a half later, we need the either free PDF update or a new book.
Right. What was it that they were advertising there to start doing? Whenever they showed us the Ironjawz models, the new ones, that was a type of like midway update. But we don't need that with just the models. It needs to be also, we're changing up some of the rules because we see that you're missing something.
Right, and that's exactly one of the things is like that was a prime opportunity to give them a little bit of love to kind of get them updated. Hell, if you would have done a whole supplemental index or supplemental battle tome to also boost Cruel Boys.
Right.
Now, guess what? You know how you're always saying about GW1 to sell models? That's how you'd sell models. Make more shit good, because people like orcs, and right now orcs suck.
Yeah. No, all those models were beautiful, and everyone looked at them and went, yeah, but I can't run them. So
I'd like to point out, with those orc models, when they first came out, everyone was like, ooh, blah, 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 look how good they are. They could do this, that.
No one's talking about them right now. Yeah.
I got it right. Same thing like I did with Hermdar in 2nd edition Fire Slayers. So, all right, Chris, thank you so much for all those comments.
Yeah.
That was I had a lot of fun doing that. So
yeah, that was cool. If anyone else, Chris, yourself again, want to comment, we can keep covering those. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'll definitely make sure that if we get to that I'll definitely try and make sure that we are addressing any comments we get. I'll probably forget, but then, hey, maybe I'll do a separate video or something. Who knows?
Yeah, there you
go.
But
I'll do my best, because I do want to encourage people to have some back and forth. And again, like I said, I love, Chris even go, hey, I disagree. I don't want separate books. That's fine.
So tell him he's wrong. Please help me.
Cole doesn't need any help. He doesn't even play this game. All right.
Right. What am I even doing?
All right. So, with that being said, I think we have beaten this horse to death.
It's a very dead horse. Yes.
This is a fantastic episode. Yes. Truly best to date. Now, with that being said, we're going to wrap this shit up. So, I came up with an idea.
That
you're going to love. You're going to love it.
Mm-hmm.
So the next episode is going to come out in January, even though it's for December. But new year,
Right.
new army. So what's the best thing to do other than to talk about a new Age of Sigmar army? I have already started a PowerPoint presentation on the history of Chaos Dwarves and what they would look like in both Age of Sigmar and Old World.
All right. You'll all love that episode. It will.
I look forward to both of your
tell
views.
us it's going to be the best to date, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
It looks pretty good. I've even edited fonts.
Yeah, that'll be great.
You're gonna love it.
Well,
By the end,
I'm looking forward to it.
By the end, you're gonna be going maybe I should get that Hashut tattoo.
Doubt that one. No, we're stretching her a little bit. All
right, everybody. Look forward to that. I'll see you next week or next month, not week. By the way,
yes.
The day this episode comes out, I will be at PAX Unplugged. If you see me, come on, say hi.
Yes, go attack him. Tell him hi.
Don't attack me.
No, attack him. That make me feel
I'll just
better.
fall over at this point. I'm an old rickety man.
All
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.